Hello and welcome, and well, we're back with a bang. So of course, not just a normal Apex League, but something a little bit special. The ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Championship, the first ever here at Apex Racing TV, fully sponsored by a great company, and also our first Endurance League to whet the appetite with, and what a season we have got in store for you. I'm Tim Cox, and well, joining me for the entirety of this season, Apex Racing Team Manager himself, Alex Simpson.
Yeah, hello all, good to be here.
Man with plenty of experience in multi-class endurance. Your team's had a few wins, not done too shabby, have you, in the big events?
We've done all right, yeah.
Not bad, a Sebring 12-hour win, a Daytona 24-hour win, just, top of the head. Pesk last weekend as well.
Yeah, congrats on Johan.
Well, yeah, on his first victory at home race as well. Not too shabby at all, but wow, what a season we have got in store for you. It is going to be absolutely amazing. And well, endurance. Life is, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And this is going to be so true about this season, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been trying to get an endurance series on the platform for a little while, and it's nice to see it. Yeah, it seems like a...
Long overdue.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like a good mix, We're not going crazy 6, 12, 24-hour races or anything like that. Just dipping our toes with slightly shorter ones.
Like a little sorbet to cleanse the palate with at 3 hours. Just the 3 hours, but it's definitely going to be a real test for our drivers. DPI, of course, LMDH, LMP2 and GTD to name but a few. But of course, well, it's going to be so interesting to see how the drivers get on. We kick things off with Spa this evening, one of the all-time quintessential classic tracks, to say the least. Yeah. You can see it in the background right now. Not that, well, I mean, you don't really need that much reminding of this place. It's just ingrained into folklore and history, and so many great iconic moments, and well, also some not so pleasant. But I mean, well, this place it just has everything, doesn't it?
Great track to start with, I think, for endurance series. Nice, big, wide, open, lots of overtaking opportunities for multi-class. So I think good runoff areas. We've kind of give everyone I've done them a bit of a favour by starting off at Spa, I think. Yeah, we just got to watch out for maybe the first lap. I think that could be tricky, and then the first time through the traffic, that's going to be interesting. But
I love the first pass through traffic. It's just always just great scenes. Aside of all the action that happens around it, just a real spectacle. But should we get stuck into some of the great prizes that we've got on offer? Well, of course, with our first Endurance League, the guys over at ASUS, Republic Gamers, they said, well, we want to get involved with this. And, well, they've sent across some absolutely epic prizes, haven't they? What have you got on your side there? I can see it. I can spy a keyboard to start off with.
I mean, I was going to sort of wet the whistle a little bit with the mouse mat. But no, yeah, we've got nice sort of cherry key, the cherry key keyboards with the clicky.
Yeah, like mechanical.
That's what I'm after, the mechanical. Yes. That nice feel that when you just really upset, mum and dad or the other half or something like that. We're going. So, but yeah, fully RGB and things like that as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. So yeah.
Of course, each of these prizes, they are up for grabs each week. Thanks to a number of our sponsors as well. The guys over at Stormforce Gaming. We'll have the Stormforce Spotlight, where the most iconic moment of each week will be voted for on social media. And, well, one of the prizes, of which we've got, as you see on the screen right now, the keyboard, the mouse pad, the mouse, the headset, will be up for grabs. And finally, the biggie is, of course, the watch.
Yeah, the watch, yeah, absolutely. I was doing my best QVC impression. Hey, look, there we go. No, it's the worst one. There we go. It's upside down as well.
Oh, there we go. Don't give it the day job. I think it's what they need to say. But we are not done there with those prizes. We've got some good, honest, cold, hard cash as well to boot as well. £250 for each of the class winners of the overall championship, 150 for coming in second, and 100 for third place, as well as Apex Racing Academy subscription, SDK subscription, and just, well, a trophy for the winning team in each category as well. For a non-pro event, I've never seen so many prizes up for grabs.
I think we've done all right.
Not too shabby.
I mean, thanks to the partners and the sponsors for getting behind the series, that's for sure, yeah.
Definitely, and if this was Christmas and Santa had left all this underneath my tree, I'd be one happy little boy. Well, not so much of a little, but that we are. That's by the by. Let's take a look at the calendar. We have got an absolutely action-packed season, as we mentioned, kicking things off with Spa, and then, well, we progress to some absolute beauties. Watkins Glen, an amazing track for multi-class endurance. Monza, Le Mans, Road America, and Road Atlanta. I don't know if we could have picked 6 better tracks than that.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I like to see for an endurance lineup. I think we're going to have some good racing. I think good mix there.
Yeah, I mean, all wide enough, you know, that you can make lots of passes, but you know, fast flowing, all with a bit of everything in there. What you're looking forward to in particular?
I mean, I'm always a bit of a partial to Road Atlanta, which is odd because I really disliked that circuit when I first joined iRacing, but it's kind of grown on me, and things like Petit Le Mans just become a bit of a standout event every year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that one goes.
Yeah, on the track as well, it looks like an elephant's head.
I never really thought about that.
Useless facts, yeah. I broke one of our fellow commentators here at Apex Racing TV, Greg Ginsberg, who's commentated there in real life numerous times, and he'd never spotted it before. So I announced it mid-broadcast. And yeah, that moment honestly couldn't keep a straight face. But, well, let's take a little look now as good old Sam Fitzpatrick. We can't keep him away off screen. And he's had a little look through all the teams that are involved, and he's picked out the ones to watch this season. Let's take a little look.
We've crunched the iRatings and looked at past Apex Racing League results to figure out who is the favourites in each of our 3 car classes for this season. In the LMDHs, it has got to be Race Clutch, with Kia Thiago Mato recently taking the title in the Apex Racing League Prototype Championship in the LMDH category. However, behind them, it's going to be the very competitive SimUFI Esports, a new team to ARL. However, with 3 drivers over 8k iRating, they should not be discounted. Fighting behind that could be Effect Simulations and NetRex Grand Prix for the podium places. However, there are most likely going to be several others contending for those places. The LMP2 category is perhaps our most competitive for this season. Former Prototype LMP2 team champions Pure Sims Esports return. However, Brabham Esports have fielded 2 7k plus squads, so perhaps go in as the slight favourites. But honestly, any of about 10 teams could win, including the 3 Walk Racing cars, which recently took the Prototype LMP2 title, whilst the veteran combo of Pascal Stix and Sven Newman will be competitive for core sim racing. Our GTD class has a bumper 23 car field, with once again Core looking a safe bet to end the season near the top. However, the favourites are Manatee Racing Green, with 9.2k driver Tim Masker representing them. Watch out for debutant Saybell Esports, along with the returning Valkyrie competition as well, to take race victories. But the winners aren't decided on a spreadsheet, but the circuit, and we're soon going to find out who's going to take the first race win of the season in just a few minutes' time.
So interesting to see. There's a few teams out there which I am really looking forward to seeing how I get on. Well, this could go absolutely anyway. Looking at the iRating spread of so many of the drivers, let alone the teams, it is so tight out there that this could go absolutely anyway in any of the categories, really. Yeah,
I'm really happy with the turn up that we've got here. Lots of really good teams, and I think actually there's someone for everyone to race against as well. So it's not going to be just battles at the front. I think we're going to have sort of battles in the mid pack and at the back as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I really feel for our producers, Lee and Lewis.
I was going to say, they've got to keep up with all that action.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But let's take a look at the track map here. And, well, do we need really a reminder of it here at Spa? The source of all problems sometimes, but it's the start of an epic lap of this place.
Yep, I've been led to believe the starts in turn 1, 15-second gap between the starts. That should give us enough time to get all the accidents out of the way if we have them.
Fingers crossed. And then, well, 2 of the most iconic, a little complex of corners up there with the corkscrew, Maggots and Beckett's, Eau Rouge Radion across the top of the hill for you. Just, well, put a brick on the accelerator as you head down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Pedal to the metal and away we go. Yeah, one of the longest sort of flat out sections that we have on any circuit, really.
And then it's onto the brakes into Lecou, Malmedy, Bruxelles, No Name, and this is where it starts to get quite technical, the circuit, doesn't it?
definitely going to be some issues here the first lap, I think, with all the slipstream going into that section, and a lot of side-by-side action, but yeah, it's going to be good.
And then, of course, for who are holding on tight for dear life, and this is where you can gain and lose so much time on the car behind you,
Yeah.
and also in front of you. But then equally, if you're following someone, they're struggling through this section here, there's not really a lot of places to overtake.
Yeah, the downforce cars, the P2s, the hybrids, they're going to be, you know, really interesting through there. Obviously, great corner, but yeah, they're going to wash out a little bit with the dirt. Yeah, so got to be careful.
You know, it's just all about building the speed, building the pace, building the momentum as well. Absolutely, another iconic section, isn't it? This part through 16, 17, Francorchamps, down to the bus stop. I know it's not called the bus stop chicane anymore. I'm showing my age. It should be like the good old bus stop in the good old days. Showing my age, but wow. Throw out the anchor. Who is the last of the late breakers? And so many iconic moves in real life, the sim world, that you see happen at that corner.
We've seen a lot of good moves, and we've seen a lot of ugly moves
Oh,
as
yes.
well. And I think we're going to definitely get a mixture. Like, let's not beat around the bush. We're going to get a bit of everything today.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly, and well, that's just us in the commentary booth, really. I'll let you decide which one you are and which one I have. No question on that one.
Stick that on the Twitter poll as well.
Yeah, that's definitely one for the YouTube chat. A little poll up there. Yeah. Of course, we've got live streaming as well. Something a little bit different.
Yep, Peter, one of our ART sort of pro drivers, is in there with Sam Fitzpatrick. So, yeah, you know where to direct the complaints.
Well, yeah.
It's not me, I'm not doing it. So.
Well, Peter, he holds no punches. He doesn't care whether you're top, bottom, middle, whatever. If you're in the wrong, he'll say it like it is.
I was listening to a little conversation that they were having earlier on. Pete was kind of explaining to Sam about obviously some of the little niggles that he doesn't like on like competitions like we've been involved in this year, like ESL R1 and some of the sort of like the pest races and things like that. So hopefully he's going to bring his experience to what he knows and what other drivers are not keen of, and we'll try and get around those and just try and improve on that a little bit. And I think, you know, this being our first season, we're going to have a lot to learn with the live stewarding as well. But I think with the experience of the guys, hopefully it's going to be good.
Oh, they've got that stacked with experience. But well, it's nice time to get hyped because we're going to head to a quick ad break, then get ready. We're going to be trackside from Spa. Who's going to pick up the first pole position of the season and of the Endurance Championship? And then who's going to carry themselves all the way to victory? We will be able to find out in just over 3 hours' time, but we're going to head to that break. Don't go anywhere because buckle up. You are in for a ride and a half. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back. And it's time to get hyped because we are here from Spa.
Yeah, I'm just trying to the dog back.
Who's going to get this one? Who's see it through? And well, there's so much kudos for grabs here. You know, welcome along, everyone. Apologies for a few technical issues experienced today with the audio, but we are live trackside and we are ready to see who's going to grab this one, who's going to take pole in qualifying, and as I said earlier, who's going to carry all the way through to Victory Road. I can't wait for this one to begin. I cannot wait. As soon as this got announced, I could not wait to get into the commentary booth and just witness what we are going to experience over the course of the next 6 rounds. Some epic action, no less whatsoever. Team scrapping it out, as you said, Alex, earlier, scrapping away in the midfield, down at the back too, at the front, every which way.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite what to expect from this first race. Like I say, I think we're going to have a bit of everything here today. Like I say, I anticipate some really good battling, some interesting moves that Stuart's going to have to deal with. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. And another little snippet of information that Sam gave me. Obviously, we're restricted to fuel, I believe, on the GTD.
We have, that's 90%.
Well. So we're definitely expecting 3 stops. So maybe some interesting strategies for the GT.
Well,
GTDs.
this is the thing. Do you go lighter? But as we were talking about before the show, that's going to put you, potentially in the midfield. Maybe losing that bit of track position that you may have gained, and how's that going to affect your race? Certainly, as we progress later into the calendars, even more draft tracks, you're going to get caught out potentially where you've got nobody to team up with, especially if you haven't got a sister team in your category. It could be a bit of a struggle, but the undercut could actually prove to be powerful. You come out, there's no one around you, especially for one of the stronger cars. You could end up making up quite a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, I think track position could be really important. Like I say, we're not dealing with just like a top split sort of special event type thing. So you can get some slower traffic out there that could cause you a few headaches and things like that. So, they've got to weigh that up where they think actually they might be able to get out and get through the field. Maybe not this time. So yeah, I think the guys are going to have to learn on the fly for this round, because while it's similar to with other events that they've done, it's still different, and I don't think we've done too much with the LMDH like this before. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new teams, and teams that haven't necessarily come across one another, in a while, or maybe even at all. That's all comes that part of that learning experience. As Rach Collection on provisional pole right now in LMDH with the Effect Simulations 909. They're sharing the front row with them. The front row in LMP2, that's Pierre Sims and Sabout Esports. And that's that's Maniti with them on the front row in GTD. And based on something we didn't cover earlier, largely BMWs in GTD. A fair few Mercedes, a couple of Ferraris, and one lone Lamborghini. Do you think maybe they've picked the BMW and the Mercedes down to the fact, Alex, that these are more safer cars to drive? We've got that issue, as you spoke about earlier, with having to learn the people around you and deal with that traffic, what that's going to incur and to expect. So maybe 2 cars, like say compared to like the Audi, which has been incredibly quick this season, but as notoriously has the ability to kill you in an instant.
I mean, possibly. Like you say, they are quite safe cars in terms of how they drive, how they react, and things like that. So there is an aspect of that. I think also they are quite competitive cars on like every circuit as well. So they're kind of good all-rounders, where sometimes like the Audis and the Lambos can be quite specialist for certain track types, and we have chose quite common circuits, I think, for the schedule. Yeah. So I do think the Beamer and the Mercedes will do well. We have got other cars.
Still say that there are some others.
Yeah, there's Ferraris
I'm
and
scanning for
one
Lamborghini for the notes right now, and yeah, like you say, there are a few Ferraris in there, and there are one Lamborghini.
Yeah, somebody's gone for it.
Yeah.
Great to see. And let's take you through your first grid for the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Series, and it's Race Clutch. They're on pole with Effect Simulation. Joining them on the front row. Row 2 sees Simfury Esports and G Esports Racing Team. Row 3, that's Fiercely Forward, Black and RD Simsport. Row 4 sees Scuderia Volpe Viola with Netrex Grand Prix. Row 5, and to round out your top 10, that is Alcantech NHR with Scuderia Volpe Verde. Lovely Italian way that just rolls off the tongue. Then it's MA70 Esports. They're joined on the 8th row by North Sim Racing, and then it is, I can't quite see, it's Pure Sims, I believe. Yes, it is. Just the white righty just caught out in
Just bad timing.
in the sky there. They've got Sabout joining them on the 9th row, with row 10 rounded out by Brabham Esports and Walk Esports. So Walk Racing Red. Now into LMP2, moving through, it's Brabham Esports Hissing Sid with Effect Simulation. And then it's Core Sim Racing and Delatraz Automotive. Absolute Motorsport, they're joined by Alpine Esports Blue. Sorry, Zambra won the range, Craig won the F4 series. Interesting to see how it gets on in LMP2. Alpha Esports by G Performance. They've got the sister Alpha Esports, but the orange team next along to them. And then it's the Effect Simulations and Walk Racing Yellow. It's Taras running incredibly well earlier on this season. Interesting to see how he gets on. They've got another of their Walk Racing cars behind them. It's the blue outfit with Delta Sport next to them. And so you see everyone's lined up. What a sight to behold. Hydra Race, the Geodesic, they're next to Arctic Racing. And then we've got No Limit Sim Racing and ATRS Academy. And then being through into the next class, Sabout and Maniti on the front row. Then Arnage and Shura. Sabale and Seabird on the 93 and the 92 cars, taking 41st and 42nd. Then Astro and Impulse. I think it still keeps going. This is what I love about endurance. This is Delatraz and Junkus Hollinger. Core Sim Racing, Valkyrie Competition, Aerokinetics, and Twin Turn Sim Racing. And just in time, 50 car grid. As let's get ready to go racing for the first time this season in the ASUS ARL Endurance League, as we are green at Spa and we are go. Get hyped, everyone, because this is going to be a season to remember as we head down towards Les Sourcil already. They're free wide and there's a spinner. Oh, there's a few cars caught up in that one. Not the start that they were hoping for whatsoever. And left scattering as the LMP2s, well, they've still got plenty of time to breathe, of course, as you mentioned, a 15-second gap. But already, Marto opening up that big gap up front to Effect, who are now under a lot of pressure from Simfury, but now back down to the LMP2, so it's their time to get going. Here from Spa, they're tightly packed, and Pure Sims, they're going to lead the way with Sabout next to them as they're green, and the Sabout car getting absolutely engulfed here, and they could lose 2 places off the start, maybe even 3 as they're free wide down into turn 1, and this isn't in danger for the LMDHs, but somehow the LMP2s make it through just about. Check out Dawson as well, and that Effect car, that's starting to make progress here as we scream down the hill and up through Eau Rouge and Radion across the top. But look at the start that Pure Sims car has got. That's really managed to take control of LMP2, where, well, the Sabout car was just left squandering and caught napping at the start. But into GTD. I love the sound, don't you? Different engines. It never fails to disappoint. V10, straight 6s, V8s, and they're all aplenty, and it's a much more orderly affair. Down in the midfield, it's all just getting, there's someone tapped and being turned there in the background. Actually, there's 3, maybe 4 cars caught up in that one.
Yeah, right towards the back, and they're still, wow, look at this. They're already round to the end of the first lap. You were thinking it was going to be lap 7 when they start going through the traffic. They're going to have these by the end of lap 2.
Just give me a minute, Alex. I'm just going to go just disappear off and get myself a slice of humble pie. for that
crazy.
one.
But yeah, good starts generally all around. I mean, yes, a couple of little instances, a lot of room given in the P2 class. That was good. And but yeah, GTD's just a sort of back end of the grid. I think it was just one car got a little bit sideways, and that was what caused it. But yeah, overall, I'd say that was pretty tame. Everyone still seems to be running.
We've got two, which the two ATRS Academy cars in LMP2. Looks like they...
I don't think they've even started.
No, they haven't got going.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone else... Actually, no, one of the DPI's into...
Yeah, the Delta V Racing, maybe that's gone back to the pits, I think. So they might have had some issues. But everyone else seems to be running.
Well,
action into the bus stop as well there.
That was the Alpha Esports Orange and the Effect Simulations 906 car, just dueling it away there. But down into GTD and already opening over half a second gap is that Sabout Esports car. Well, they've had a bit of a shuffle around because they got caught napping off the start.
No, the Sabout guys got a really good start on GTD. It was P2, yeah. But they're still kind of there in sort of P3 at the moment. So Callum Reed held on to that. The Brabham Esports guys are tucked up behind them as well. But yeah, good start from Patrick in the GTD. And yeah, held on to that as well. It seems like there was battling in sort of second and third place, and we've got 3 wide down the Kemmel Straight. Something I think we'll. Somehow they survived that. Oh yeah, full commitment. That's what we like to see.
Wow. So Daniel Moore in the Alpha Esports Orange car that's just in front of the Effects cars in the middle of this sort of freeway pack, but they've been caught up by the guys behind them now. Saw Daniel earlier on in the F4 series here on Apex Racing TV and running incredibly well for TNT's made the switch across to Alpha Esports Orange as I think the Dallas Sport car might have had a bit of an issue.
Dallas Sport, I think, yeah, we just zip into him. We've got him on camera, but no car. What is going on?
That's a unique combination.
Yeah, I mean, still steering, things like that, so maybe he pops back in or maybe gets a disconnect in a second. That'll be a shame.
Will be indeed, as currently right now in GTD it's BMW leads from Mercedes and then BMW in your podium position. Sabout, Maniti, Arnage competition making up those top 3. And this is what I love about GTD. It's just all nose to tail pretty much for the entirety of the pack.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, I think.
Wow, this is going to split.
This is when it's going to happen. This
first pass through of the DPIs, I love these moments because it is fraught with so much danger for everyone, and that's the Effect car losing a place to be right on board with Robin Mass.
We're on board with the ART Sim Racing, I'm not going to lie. Quite like the name. Close enough?
Close enough. But I think he hasn't adjusted his name slightly because that's actually the Effect car, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Effect 909. And also, a bit of, he's got it on the front wing.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Well,
thank you to the guys at the Effects for making the commentators' life that little bit easier by dropping in little nuggets like that.
Yeah.
Also, a great way to get your brand on stream as well, unnoticed.
We'll sort that out, I'm sure.
I mean, hats off to, maybe it's knowing you we're going to be in the broadcast, trying to tout, get themselves into the Apex Racing team, maybe it's subliminal message, thought-provoking. It's down in towards the bus stop, and you can see the Effect Ferrari right now trying to get out of the way, but what a sight to behold across the start-finish line. Well, where do you look right now? This is why we come racing, to view moments like this as they come through La Source, and the DPIs are really struggling to carve their way through right now as we look back. This is from Scuderia Velope Viola. You can just see all
this is what multi-class racing's all about.
And I've just said they've had to check up. They're still behind the GTD, Alex, because look.
Here we go. Look at the run as well. That's the G Esports racing team coming through. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe those are the Networks guys. But yeah, what a run they got. Oh, 3 wide into there. GTD on the outside, just having kittens.
We're only 7 minutes in already. The hairs on my arm are standing up and then on the back of my neck, you name it, as they all try and carve and scythe their way through. These DPIs are trying to slash and hack their way through these GTDs. And so far, everyone has been with real success. No casualties involved at this stage of the race. But you see there's a fair few off tracks being picked up here as we ride on board with the Magic Arrow car. Norbert Tamas, he's currently piloting this one as they squeeze away past the Seibelt BMW there in GTD. That would have been no, that was the 6th placing class car, the 92 machine. They're balancing it on these curbs, desperate to try and find any form of gap whatsoever. But luckily, they've got this long run now where if they can try and get the best possible exit, squeeze their way past the BMW. Here we go. This was a site of a big incident in the World Endurance Championship where Jack Villeneuve, in fact, got caught up and tagged one of the, I believe, one of the Porsches, I believe. But there we go, just getting squeezed by our leader in GTD. And now, finally, they can breathe a sigh of relief because they've managed to clear all of the GTDs.
Oh, into the braking zone. I was worried for the Seibelt car for a moment. I hope they got out of that alive. Move for position?
Oh, yeah, that is.
Little, well...
Oh, no, that was netcode. Oh, the effects. Ferrari just managed to squeeze their way through the Aerokinetics car. And that is Juncos Racing. Manuel Scully. Oh, that's broken suspension.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunate. I think the first bit of love tap,
yeah,
that's what we want to call it. I think that was okay. That seems perhaps a bit rough, but okay. The second one perhaps a bit harsh. But yeah, that one that I'm sure the stewards will look into.
That's changed for 3rd place effect after starting in 2nd. They've now dropped off the podium as RD Sim Sports. That's Archie Convey heading his way through. So Coveney even. I've commentated on Archie many a time, and always I've managed to avoid every single time calling Convey, but it's Coveney. Apologies, Archie. Finally, it is a fallen foul of it. That's them up onto the podium overall. Sympathy, they've heading up to 2nd place right now. That early move are made on effect. Meanwhile, further down through the field in LMDH, it's still pretty calm. Everyone just following each other and more orderly affair. There's the MA70 car. They've made up, what, 7 places off the start. They started near the back of the grid in this this section of the race. And that's a cracking start.
Yeah, big move out. So far, I don't really see anybody else that's made up as many places, even in the other classes. So yeah, good job from them guys. So we switch to the P2 battle. This is well, essentially the battle for the lead, really.
4-way scrap right now. Our top 3 have broken clear. They're about 2 seconds over Brabham Esports, who are currently lying 5th in class. Well, these 3 just head down. Keep hammering it home. Pure Sims, Walk Racing Red, Seibelt Esports 90, and Effect Simulations 908. So we ride on board with Callum Reed-Garton. One of the drivers I'm really intrigued to see, not someone who've not commentated on before. Really fascinating to see how he gets on this season with the Seibelt outfit. And well, they're really well represented here in the championship. And just seeing at the back of this 4-car trainer's effects, and talking of them, they've managed to get their LMDH car back up into 3rd overall at the hands of Robin Mass. But onto the brakes, and this is where it gets treacherous as they try and clear through the GTDs right now. And that BMW, I think it's an RD Sim Sport car, I'm too sure. So they're trying to make their way through. And well, that top 4, they're going to clear that relatively easy. But look at our leader from Pure Sims, Ron Gleerman. He's managed to, this is what, the thing is, it's all about traffic management, isn't it? And just how effectively you can clear those back markings.
That's half of the thing. You can be a 10th or 2 quicker, but if you can't clear the traffic, you're going to come off 2nd best, basically. A lot of it is timing and luck as well. You know, you catch them at the right points and things like that. You know, I've been in many endurance race, multi-class, where I'm kicking because I'm like, why are they always catching them on the straights and I'm getting them in the corners, you know, and you're clearing them, you catch them back up again, and then once again, oh, that was close. I'm guessing that was a move that we perhaps saw. That's Brabham, were they holding on to that?
Yeah, they're holding on to it at the moment. Yeah, just about, though, only by the skin of their teeth. That is the hitting
Talking of the skin, I do like the very traditional livery that they've got on that. It works quite well on the pizza, I think. Oh, that is a bit of a cluster.
You don't want to be that BMW right now, locked into that mid-pack as you've got, well, left, right, centre, front, back, absolutely surrounded, harassed, harangued. They're free wide, trying to squeeze their way through the through the GTD traffic, and they're still side by side, still scrapping, still trying to find a way through against one another, and there's almost contact as nobody is yielding, nobody is giving an inch between these two, Delatraz and Brabham. And finally, well, it's Alexandre Delatraz who makes his way through up into 5th. Finally, as something's happened. So early pit, well, it's got to be accident damage incurred. Alcantech into the pits right now from LNDH. You can see them move to the back of the field. Meanwhile, what a battle this is. You've got, what, 6 cars all over one another. Nobody yielding, nobody giving each other any chance of almost like a survival here. As this is why we come racing. This is why we love it, because, I mean, I take your pick. This just constantly evolves. It's pointless saying what order you're in, because just you blink of an eye and they all change around again. Yeah.
Core holding on to that around the outside, took a little bit of the runoff, but I think they're going to get the run into Joy Rouge there.
Well, talking about runs here, Pulse Esports.
And yeah, the Seabelt.
So Impulse even, sorry. That's Impulse just in front right now. Impulse has had a good start ahead of Raymond Sheffers. He's managed to pick up 2 positions so far in the BMW. He's on board with the Seabelt Esports car right now, but that's not going to help it. And then cuts across. That was a bit cheeky. Or was he picked up a slowdown maybe, Alex, and that's why he moved the car across?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Just perhaps a bit loose coming off the corner and just, yeah, run out there. I don't know. I have to say, the Seabelt guys come out in force, haven't they? There's a lot of Seabelt cars.
Oh, they have. Yeah, they have not messed around, have they? There's been a few teams that have really come out in force. The South, Brabham, Effect being another one, Pure Sims.
I don't mind saying as well, we bought 4 Seabelt seats the other day, so they literally got loaded onto the lorry and they're heading to Munich for next week. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so there you go, guys. We're helping support the brand, and this is what the sponsorship and stuff like that does. So if you want to go, you know, you got 4 sales. It's because of you, by all means do.
Just on board. Meanwhile, in the midfield in LMDH right now, this is the battle for 8th overall. Magic Arrow, Norbert Tamas, this beautiful Cadbury's purple almost. As every glass, well, clearly he must think is a glass and half full. Really bad joke, and the fact I've just been looked at and nothing's even happened.
I was distracted by the messages going on in Discord about whether or not we were going to see some penalties and things like that, and nothing really being protested we're hearing, and then obviously we got the little warning just flash up on screen for the moment there. So yeah, nothing too severe.
So, I mean, despite all the action, the excitement, the drama of these opening stages, I can't believe we're already 16 minutes into this one. We haven't really seen many instances. Yeah, there were a few nickels down at
Turn 1 stuff.
The source, but you always get it there.
Yeah, I'd say it's been pretty good as, yeah, Martin has a little look for a move here. Got the run and gets the move done. Easy.
Well, Fiercely Forward is the team name, and Fiercely Forward is finishing moving. Great little move there up the inside to get that one done. It's another returning name here to Apex Racing Team, Saharia. The drivers we saw in the F4 Championship. Great to see so many of the F4 guys making a big leap up, really, from the IRO 4 into LMP2. They currently lie 16th in class, 31st overall, trying to make a bit of progress, but Well, it's more LMP2s and more GTD traffic. This is on board with Victor Taras right now of Walk Racing Yellow. That was nearly, well, Princely sitting in the passenger seat if these LMP2s were to have one of that Alpha Esports car in front of us.
Yeah, everyone survived, but again, I feel like they... What is going on? Oh, no, this can't be... No, there was no room there. And,
wow,
if they're the only one involved in this, well, yeah.
That is a frightening place to be because you've got a big stream of traffic.
God, look at that view. No, what is going on? Like, where was the commentator cam? I'm literally holding my head. It's like a meme. Yeah.
I mean, it was hard to tell from that angle. Oh, no, there's
there's just a tiny little touch there.
Yeah,
well, I think we spoke too soon. Sam's going to be inundated in a minute.
Yeah, there's a big pile up there down into the bus stop, well, on the exit of the bus stop chicane. In fact, Michael Marlowe has headed into, well, he's one of the cars involved in that. I think maybe even the Effect esports car as well of Max. Well, he was up the inside there and he just, I mean,
he turned in for sure, but I think he was damaged and was a bit lazy still to be in there as well. So again, that's I'm sure that will get looked at. Like I said, the guys, the drivers obviously and the teams need to protest. I think if they want these incidents looked at, we should add that. But obviously, yeah, I know the stewards are looking at some things right now. I've only got to just turn to the right a little bit, and I can kind of see what's kind of going on.
Meanwhile, well, the field starts to just even out a little bit here at the 18-minute mark. Just having a bit of a look through, and well, there's still so many nose-to-tail battles in all three classes right now. This is the battle for 8th in DPI even. Also overall, let's look back from Magic Arrow. So M870, who, well, they've had an eventful start. They were up 7 places. They've since dropped 1 to Magic Arrow. They're still up an incredible 6 into 9th overall. So that's an absolutely stunning start. However, fiercely forward Black, who are behind them, well, trying to use the traffic, boxed the car in against the GTD there. And that is how you get a move done in multi-class endurance. Using one of the back markers as a tactical pawn to get your move done.
Yep, just seeing there, 60 seconds stop and hold for Effect Simulation 904.
That is, I want to say that's their GTD outfit. Yes, it is. That's with Max Furtwängler in the car.
Been pulled up afterwards, didn't he?
Did.
That was the La Source.
It was.
Collision, so
going to be the source of all problems for them. And well, talking of Effect, not having the best of starts necessarily was Andy Dawson. This is one of the drivers who made his top split debut during drivers. That was all buzz. Wow.
Oh. What's going on live as well?
Where do you look? Because you're thinking, well, a great action there. And then you look across the live just briefly, and all of a sudden you see that.
Oh my word, that was tight. Yeah, Bram taking advantage of that, I think. Look, slipping up the inside there. Thank you very much.
And that's why the Effect LMP2 just lost so many places in so much time. They were in 4th place, battling for the lead.
For the drag race, is this
Oh, what a lovely... Oh, no, nearly an absolutely stunning move there, right on the outside, and then Sabal said, thank you very much, I'll have some of those places. He brought some action that we just couldn't catch live because there's so much going on out on track, and where do you look? But that's why we've got 2 producers on the job to bring us all the action.
Yep, Archie still having a little bit of battle on here. Don't think he's really been able to shake off the Netrex guys. Actually, I'll take that back. It was Netrex who made the move, wasn't it, earlier on? So they're actually caught back up to the RD Sim Sports car now. So yeah,
this was one of the battle. Yeah, this was one of the moves that was done during traffic earlier on as well. Back through they come again. Luckily for the, well, I think was going to be make things a bit easier is second time around. The cars are a bit more spaced out in GTD.
It's always that first one, isn't it? You know, it makes a difference. I wonder actually with what we had with the gaps through the classes for the start, and the fact that the DPIs come around so quickly, we didn't have like, well, we're not going to have the manic dual prototype classes going through the GTD at the same time. They're actually going to be spread out a little bit, so it's shouldn't be as bad, maybe. I think that's imminent though, right? Looking at where the P2 cars are on the track, like they're...
We're not going to be far away from it, are we? We're really not.
Thank you.
Track match, telling us all. Here from Spa, exactly how the field's looking out right now, and those LMP2s, well, they've got a bit of time to catch up with the next sort of batch in GTD. The red circles denoting the GTD cars, blue being LMP2. LMDH, they are black. So corresponds with what you see in little markers before the team names on the left-hand side of the screen in the timing tower.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why they're flashing occasionally red and things like that, it's because we're trying to track their GPS position to understand if they're getting off tracks as well. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty good idea that they're running wide and things like that. So, but yeah, Spa will be Spa with its off tracks.
And that's one of the things that iRacing has changed, hasn't it? So obviously, when we had the W12 come along, one of the complaints that was made that your track limits, they're not corresponding to what we have in real life. And Mercedes sort of forced iRacing's hand to have it changed because they didn't want any of their drivers, especially the development drivers, getting used to the iRacing off-track limits and then going there in real life, finding that they're slow through certain parts of the circuits because those off-track limits aren't there in real life.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 6 to 1 1/2 dozen of the other. That said, I would rather, you know, ask like one of the drivers, like Pete and that now, because I haven't driven recently enough, unfortunately. But I feel like some of them are still overly harsh, and some of them are overly, you know, the flip side. You know, they're just far too lenient. So.
Talking of harsh, I'm sure I just saw a car off the road, and according to our live timing software from SDK Gaming, that, I believe, was PJ Clayson's of Arctic Racing, who might have come off the track. I'll keep you up to date with that. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oof. That's had a big shunt.
Looks like a Peugeot.
It does. I will give you that one. It does.
I mean, it still looks like a Peugeot.
It's being an LMP2, I'm guessing that must make it like a Wish.com version of a Peugeot hypercar. But, I mean, 10 out of 10 for imagination and, you know, giving it a go. Meanwhile, it's just the battle for 4th place between Effects. Sorry, it's just behind them even. Yes, it's battle for 4th. RD Sim Sports and NetRex going at it hard with RD just ahead of NetRex for now, but they're still clambering over one another. This is going to play into Effect's hand, who had lost that 3rd place a little bit earlier on, but since then managed to get back up into there and starting to pull away. Meanwhile, ding ding round, probably it's pretty much every corner it's a battle between these two. Magic Arrow, well actually no, M870 were behind Magic Arrow, so they have got the move done, and they've pretty much headed off up the road, and Magic Arrow seems to be the cork in the bottle right now. Fiercely forward, Black find themselves behind them at the hands of Martin Simsian. Whether they can get that one done. LMP2, close as you like, Seibelt and Delatraz. And they are separated by, well, only 4 attempts at this stage, but then there's pretty much a long queue right behind them. And it was really telling earlier on because Pierre Sims managed to get the jump on everyone during the first stage of traffic and opened up about a 2nd or so gap. And then as they came down the Camel Straight and into Malmedy, they managed to just slot in a bit of a gap where they managed to then, meant that, you know, overtaking the next car was so much more easier. And, well, all it took was that one little moment. Now they're nearly 5.5 seconds down the road from Seibelt, who I'm about to say in 2nd, but I think they're about to lose it as here comes Delatraz down the inside for Delatraz Automotive by Major's Garage. And that's them up into 2nd. And Reed Garton just having to settle in for third. But this, as we said earlier, is a marathon and not a sprint. And we're only 1/6 of the, well, not even quite yet. 1/6 of the way through the race.
Just having a look at sort of lap time as well. Delatraz's fastest lap that they've done is a 2:05.1 compared to Pure Sims with a, I'm just looking, 2:04.2. It's a huge difference, but then 2:04.3 for Callum Reed in the Sabre Esports as well. So this really just goes to show, right? That is like tortoise and hare. You know, it's a marathon out there, really. Just that good, consistent pace hasn't perhaps dropped off as many as others, as we're seeing a 10-second stop and hold.
It's the Alcantech NHR team, so that was Lennart Schnabel, I do believe, in the car for them. Although I'm pretty sure, did they get going again, Alex? Yes, they did. That was they're running last in LMDH, and in fact, they're behind the entire field in LMP2 right now, so that's going to be a long afternoon for them, for certain.
Oh, shenanigans ahead. Oh, they survived it, but that could have easily ended up in a wall very quickly.
As that was a Moore versus Giancarlo Scuola of Delta Sports.
Yeah, right in front of the leaders as well. That's Race Clutch coming through there as well.
Well, they're clutching at something. That's for certain, as they're going to squeeze their way through there into Francorchamps.
I mean, you've watched the Prototype series here on Apex Racing TV and Apex Racing League. I mean, how was that? Obviously very similar with the LMDHs and the P2s.
Stunning action. And talking of which, right on time, there's your running champion, Marteau of Race Clutch, picks up the victory. And, well,
I think I saw him all over Twitter.
Yes.
Other social media platforms are available that I'm sure he posted on as well, but with all of these, am I right in saying 4 times winner now, Apex Racing League?
That's absolutely correct. We were having a bit of a debate in the office earlier on today, whether he'd won every single championship that he's ever entered into at Apex Racing League. I've got a feeling, I don't think he did very early on. I think there was one, I can't remember if it was first season F4, possibly even F3, but, I mean, even so, the only 4 times champion.
How's he doing on our driver ranking system? Anybody know?
It's not doing too badly.
Yeah, I'm getting...
It's not quite a Will Redford.
I was about to say,
you'll be happy about.
I'm hearing from Sam, possibly sitting around 3rd overall. So, what you got to do to be top of that thing?
Well,
4-time champion's not up there. Yeah,
he's getting there, and well, putting in a performance like this here today from Smart is definitely going to help him.
Oh,
for the
who's that in the wall?
Who is that? There we go. Oh, it's a Moore. Was caught up of Alpha Esports Orange, was caught up in that incident earlier on, where he went side by side with the Delta Sport car of Giancarlo Scuola. And that's been recovered. However, how much damage has that car incurred remains to be seen right now. As those of you in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. So, well, so we'll take a bit of a breather. It seems to, well, maybe slightly calm down right now. I say that in GTD, still kicking off in the midfield here in the battle for 12th as we look back from the Dutch Sim Racing team's car. It's Optiga currently, and the battle for 13th. Delatraz up the inside there, ahead of Exxon ID. That's got them up into 13th, and well, BMW versus BMW versus BMW, and this is where it gets challenging for these drivers, because these cars are strong and weak in exactly the same parts of the track.
Exactly, it all comes down to the driver. You know, you got to make that move. But yeah, that was good, strong overtake.
Bit of a wiggle there from the Delatraz BMW.
Yeah, I was going to say, you almost got into the back of him there, so definitely looks a bit racy at the moment.
Let's not forget, we have got it up for grabs, seeing their logo up in the top right, Stormforce Gaming. We have the Stormforce Spotlight, one of the best moves throughout this round. Will be voted on social media for drivers to pick up one of their prize. I do believe it's the keyboard that's up for grabs first in this round at Spa, Alex.
Oh, okay. What we're expecting, like a 3 wide round the outside to get it? I don't know.
What, maybe Indianapolis in the Porsche Cup? which we know that track will be at that circuit, but you know, it's almost like you're alluding to what Alejandro Sanchez pulled off at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that will work. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that. Little push, get some teammates involved.
Yeah. And then winning at your home race as
It
well.
took me a second for you to get what
Yeah, well,
older
your
now.
road team, yeah.
As I say, there's a few more grey hairs coming through now, Tim. You have to give me a second.
At least you've got grey hairs, rather than having none whatsoever, like myself. Yeah, great to have so many of you in the chat as always. Let me know when you're viewing this from, sitting back enjoying the action on a Friday night. Just like we've got this battle right now for 9th overall. There's MA70 who, well, they've had a cracking start, 6 places. But fiercely forward, who've struggled right now, are trying to get back past them. And we've got Prestanda Nomad right behind them, you know, looking to capitalise on any issues that they may currently
coming out the bus stop. We've seen a few of these today. Not sure who
there's
that
car
was.
involved
Yeah,
there.
definitely, I saw that.
That's the Harrier, I think.
Yeah, the walking racing blue.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And that's what's been caught up. Let's have a look as they come through the source. Any damage incurred? I think they're okay.
Yeah, I think they'll survive and fight on, but definitely they must have been battling in the bus stop there, and yeah, it's just that horrible thing. I'm sure we'll get that on replay a bit later on.
We'll get how that one panned out for definite, and well, we're just over the halfway mark through the first hour. Race clutch lead overall in LMDH by 2.3 seconds on over Simulfy Esports.
They're pretty consistent, right? They got that kind of like second and a half quite early on, and thank you on cue, the timing delta. So it's kind of, yeah, ebbing and flowing, but pretty consistent.
You can see, but obviously lap 11, you know, pulled out a 5.4 second gap by that stage of the race, then lost it all in traffic, but it just shows where they managed to pick it up and then grew the gap again before it contracted a bit more down to what it is now at 3.5 seconds. Just heading past one of the, I think that's one of the Sabout cars there. Yes, it is in LMP2 right now. And Effect 909, they're going to round out the podium in LMDH. In LMP2, Pure Sims lead the way over Delatraz Automobiles and Sabout Esports 90. And then GTD is still BMW, Mercedes, BMW with Sabout leading over Maniti and Arnage Competition. Having a bit of a look through the chatters, finally getting managing to do. Calvin Dent has got a vested interest in the Brabham LMP2 team. Well, all the Brabham teams used to be Sim 3D beforehand. The LMP2 has damage massively down on the straights. That's not what you want at Spa. They've got.
I should say, if you've got any questions for Tim and I in the chat, by all means, send them. Post them, send them in. We'll try and interact with them as much as we can. Now that it's settled down a little bit, it was we didn't know where to look a moment ago, you know. So
it was ridiculous, isn't it? Saying I was finally settled down 35 minutes into the race.
But yeah, gap's starting to sort of build throughout the order, as we can see.
And we're pretty much, it's just crossed my mind, just seeing Simon saying about it being 35 minutes. We're going to be heading into pit window territory very, very fast in LMDH and LMP2. Of course, GTDs, we've limited their fuel down to 90%, so they will have to swap 3 times. They cannot make it to the hour.
It's what, they're about 52 minutes, something like that?
I'd say about that.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, I think. What's your thoughts on the? I mean, I know that it's MDH on screen right now, but what's your thoughts on GTD strategy? Because your first stint, right, doesn't take you any time to fill the car up. You always take maximum amount of fuel. That's my theory, right? Rather than short fuel at the start, or is track position that important that you try and disappear at the start and accept the fact that you've got to stop for a few more seconds to fill that thing up?
I don't know.
All of the stops.
This is the deliberation. I was talking with Sam Fitzpatrick a little bit earlier about this, Alex, because you've got 2 schools of thought. Do you go maybe that bit lighter in your first stint? You can have speed over your competitors, but He's going to come back out into that midfield, potentially. And with so many drivers out on track, yeah, really stacked field here. There's not, we've seen from the track maps earlier on, there's not a lot of space out there. So, is it worth doing? Likewise, you know, you could end up caught behind a bit of traffic, or, you know, you don't have anyone to slipstream with. So you lose time that way. The flip side, no one in front of you. If you're a fast driver, pedal to the metal, and you can get, the, you know, make up a lot of places for the undercut. So it's going to be really fascinating to see how drivers pull as well.
15-second stop and hold.
It's,
contact on the final chicane. Wondering if that's what we saw the aftermath with.
yeah, that would have been what we saw the aftermath with. That's the car there in question, I do believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't actually see the incident, did we? It was kind of like off camera, I think. We saw just the aftermath. But yeah, a couple of points in the chat as well. Obviously, the team's taken the splash early to get out of the mire of the traffic. Could be sensible. You could pick up some positions there and things like that. Just hope it kind of comes back to you. You know, always a bit risky because you put yourself dead last. But yeah, make some sense. And is this an in-joke?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
It is. It is. Thank you, Josh Wilson. One, it's not Spa. Two, it's not Le Mans. And, well, no, I don't have it with me. I brought a tent for Le Mans 24-hour. It said it held 2 people. And then when I came to open it out, as I didn't put it up at home, why take it out of the packaging? You know, just got to go with it these times. It said it fitted 2 people on Amazon. Opened up, it was incredibly small and only just about fitted 1 person in there.
Cozy then.
It was, but lots of alcohol later. Didn't really matter too much.
Getting busy now. Definitely seeing a mixture of P2 and hybrids going through the GTD traffic here. And yeah, hello to Paul Joseph Clist as well. Thank you for all the support. We will we'll take a look at your thing there, your recommendation.
Yeah, let's get that done. Meanwhile, out on track, and we're starting to get that free car, let's say free class of overlap right now. We've got the LMDHs, GTDs, LMP2s, all fighting over the same inches of track. As there is the Brabham car in LMP2, currently residing 5th place in the Walk Racing red car, which baffles me slightly because it's got red in the name, but it's not really red in the car. Oh no, there is. I know, I lie. I'm seeing the red now. You've all been whizzing around so quickly that I've only just about spotted it. As someone's had a blink out in front of a lot of cars there, and I'm not sure if they've come back. I didn't quite catch who it was either, or if they've reappeared, which is always a bit of an unnerving stage, especially when you're in this exact situation.
What's the delta between the DHs and the P2s? So 4 seconds, something like that? Maybe 5? It's not too bad, actually.
No, it's that time delta has obviously come down since the LMP1s, the Porsche and the Audi that we had previously. Whereas effectively the MDH is almost like LMP2s on massive steroids and with hybrid deployment. As you can see right now, and this is another interesting part as all. Simufy into the pits. Yeah, that's them. Also joining them, RD Simsport. So Simufy in from 3rd in LMDH right now.
Yeah, but I was about to say a bunch of P2s in as well. Our leader going in, but the Callum Reed in carried on. So they've obviously been a bit light on fuel, or fuel usage, should we say? But yeah, so the pit lanes were very busy. I didn't realise they were going to box at the same time. So
yeah, they last roughly about the same sort of distance on fuel.
I thought there'd be a few laps between them, but yeah.
No, there's no hanging around.
And a GTD coming in as well. Just feeling a little bit left out, clearly.
Oh yeah, that's one of the Aerokinetics cars, I do believe. Yes, it is of Alessandro Piccolo. That's in from, what, 11th in class. In fact, they've had a driver change. So I think that's Daniel Denson got into the car there. Meanwhile, let's take a little look how things have shaken out. So in LMP2, they've had a real change around, and all of a sudden, after looking really out of the equation, it's now the effect car that's up into second. So just showing the bit of strategy, how it can flip on its head in an instance.
Yeah, just trying to, quite a
Because
there, isn't there?
So Andy
yeah, you're
Dawson
right.
was in fourth, so they were stationary about 10 seconds less compared to the Pure Sims car.
Yeah, crazy.
However, look, you can see this is what we spoke about earlier, altering pit strategies. So if you want to view exactly the same live timing data that we're seeing here in the commentary booth, you can do so. There's a link in the chat right now. And I do believe in the description as well. Yes, there is, apexracingtv.com/live timing. So you can see all the different gaps between all the cars. Exactly where everyone is, how long they were stopped for. And talking of stopped, first, second, third. In LMDH and overall, they are in Race Clutch, Effect, and NetRex.
Oh, here they all come.
Yeah, here they all come. GE Sports, Scuderia, Volpe, fiercely forward, and a 70 Magic. And it's Clash. They're the only team to carry on. And I tell you what, they've been really economical on their fuel, because nobody else has gone as long as them. So we had a couple of cars stop on lap 20, Simufi and RD Sim Sports. Obviously everyone else in lap 21, except for Clash, who carried on again. There they are.
Yeah, good job for them. I don't know if there is a sort of strategy where they can make it on one less tank. I don't think there is. So it's just going to be about trying to keep that final stop as short as possible.
Well, that is indeed, Alex. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how many places.
Timing screen's starting to go nuts as well, just because of all the pits and things like that. I think I'll let that calm down before I try and figure out what is going on there.
Yeah, it's all Simufi, I think, are the ones to lose out from that. Yes, they are. Because that means Effect are going to be net up into second place overall. Still a little bit behind, Race Clutch, who have got that. Well, actually, their gap was 4.5 seconds. That's dropped down to 3.3 seconds. That's largely due to 7/10 quicker stop from Effect over Race Clutch. As there you can see the Effect car just trying to pick its way through a bit of traffic through Brussels, and it's a no name, or Speaker's Corner as it is known. Well, that's going to allow that gap at front. Yeah, there you go. That lead, that net gain for them just starting to evaporate a little bit. But then equally, the Race Clutch car now caught up in traffic, and you can see, well, they're making this pass through these GTDs, Alex. It's just going to ebb and flow constantly.
Yeah, just got to be patient and make sure they don't get stuck too much or have a tiny little bit of contact or something like that. It's going to cause them some trouble. There's actually a lot of traffic everywhere at the moment, so yeah, the track must be busy.
It always ebbs and flows though, doesn't it? So that is your leader in from Clash.
Yeah, they managed to, like I say, to go that one lap longer. Let's see what sort of pit time they do. Are they going to try and take a short stint now to get some track position? Fastest we've seen in LMDH, 29.92 for the pit time. Everybody else in the 30s. That was from RD Sim Sports, so a few cars coming by now, 17, 18 seconds, so a few more places still to lose on here, unfortunately, for Clash.
Just doing some rough mental maths. They won't, at this rate, they won't actually save a pit stop, Alex. However, if they can keep up that same level of fuel conservation, come the end of the race, that's going to put them in a really strong position. Because, I mean, we talk about splash and dashes. It literally will be a splash and dash for them to get themselves home. Oh, that's close. That's close. So they squeeze through on the Camel Straight. GCDs doing the right thing, remaining on the racing line, letting the prototypes just swerve their way through. However, it was incredibly close as we've got GE Sports, fiercely forward, RD and Scuderia Volpe Viola all over one another. This is your battle for 5th place, LMDH and overall. Nose to tail, 46 minutes in. This is why I love this format of racing because nowhere else could you have that level of racing.
Just seeing there as well, just a moment ago, there was Absolute Motorsport with a, I think it was a 20-second stop and hold. I think it just flashed up there, so not quite sure what that was about. Sorry to pull away, I just kind of saw that as we've got another move going into to Lecu. Love it. Nice, clean.
That's what we'd love to see. That's the
interesting
motorsport
comment
car.
as well from Dragos there as well about obviously the walk racing, blue, yellow, and red. Obviously, it's not just about separations from the team; it's to do,
you know
with
what?
the nationality and the.
And when someone
Romanian
says something
flag.
so obvious like that,
I
you
know.
do you know, I completely get it now.
Yeah,
How did I not spot that before? I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed with myself.
we're British. This is what we're like. We're rubbish like that. Spotting the most obvious things.
Yeah, that is very true. that is incredibly true. As I just seeing right now. So this is third, so fourth and fifth in class in GTD, having a bit of traffic head through. It's that group of four in LMDH trying to squeeze their way past. On board right now with Raphael Renhofer, offshore esports. That's Astro Racing, who was ahead of us. Meanwhile, we've already cleared up the straights, and you can see here yet again. Well, where do you go? Do you go left? Do you go right? It's trying to pick a lane right now. It's such a challenge. It's such a challenge to know what to do, isn't it? Because at times it can be the big difference, especially in the high-speed part of the circuit, where if you throw out the anchor, that's it. You're going to lose potentially a whole host, let alone a whole host of time, potentially places. As there's the Seabelt and the Brabham cars still, sorry, Delatraz even, squeezed out into the wall, and then they're going to come back across the track. No, they're not. They hold it well. However, they're going to lose even more time. They've had a driving change. Gentleman Olivieri has managed to get into, well, I say managed to, he has got in the car over Delatraz, and right now, if they're losing that place, they've dropped behind, and they've now got Brabham and Walking Race Yellow. Just that Romanian connection. So obvious when you see it, so obvious. Oh, breathing down their neck.
I just want to say, for a very brief little second there, we saw like a unicorn. That unicorn being a Lamborghini.
Yes.
It's on screen.
Alone, yeah.
I needed a flash.
So there it is.
Thank you.
You asked for it.
The producer.
You got it.
It's like he's listening to me.
It's almost like he's listening to you. So that is Delta V in the Lamborghini. The only team to take the Lamborghini. We have two Ferraris, so they're not the lone Italian manufacturer.
I was going to say, if his teammates were in the chat, you could have said to him, "Go on, give us a flash. You're on screen," but he's gone again.
So 3D Rap Squad Corsa picking up a penalty there. Oh, sorry, apologies. That was a warning. Apologies.
Oh, tasty into the sauce there as well. 3 different classes, different lines.
Well, also, let's not forget this effect card's going to be running light right now. So Pearson's behind them was stationary for 35 seconds. Only 26 for effect simulation.
Yeah, that's DH. Don't get too.
Oh, well, yeah, well, it's
like, this
very
looks
similar,
easy.
Yeah, similar-ish degrees. However, this is where Dawson really, really needs to make things count, because with that light car, he needs to build up, realistically, a 9-second gap here right now, Alex, to try and then negate the effect of where they're going to have to put more fuel into the car next stop.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I wonder if he's thinking my battle is not with Pure Sims. I'm not going for a race win, because there was just a little way back. You know, and maybe he's thinking, well, actually, we're going to use Pure Sims here. We're going to be light. We're going to try and stretch our legs a little bit, get through the traffic a bit easier because we're one of the front cars. And if Pure Sims get by us, then we can slipstream them and they can kind of help us build up a gap on our rivals. You know, maybe they're still thinking the win.
Oh, wow. Getting squeezed between the traffic there. That's one of the Mercedes. Didn't quite catch who that was as we look back from our leader in LMP2 right now. As they've got an LMP, so LMDH just trying to squeeze right around the outside. It's the Pure Sim car now squeezes up, and well, what does he do? Dawson needs to defend. He's got an LMDH trying to find his way past the GTD to negotiate through too. Meanwhile, being under attack from the Pure Sims car right behind. And who's going to be the last of the late breakers? That's going to define it down in towards the bus stoppers. Here we go. And Pure Sims just back out of it for now.
I was going to say this would give us a good indication as to what the mindset was there if he just lets him breeze on through, whether he's just going to use him. But actually, Pure Sims backing out of it, so didn't help me.
Well, talking of close battles, still going on. This is RD versus Scuderia Volpe Viola, and wow, Pure Sims, sorry, RD Simsport even losing that position. Scuderia Volpe back up to where they started in 7th. However, RD not at the best of times. They're down a couple. I mean, still not all lost as we start to approach the 1 hour mark. But like this, well, can you tell pit stop? Whoa, hold on. There's someone who's missed their pit stop. That's one of the save-out cars, isn't it? Oh, what? Still not.
Worst.
But that's all gone.
He's in. Yeah. Oh, that's the worst when you're first one. You're like, oh no. Got to clock where your pit stall is.
You have.
You know, so important.
And then in the blink of an eye, it undoes your whole race.
Yeah, they were. I'm trying to think where they were. They were quite comfortable, weren't they?
They were. They were running near the front end. Obviously, they pitted.
Yeah. Whereas
Maniti, Arnage, and Valkyrie didn't.
I mean, they were leading. That's the thing.
They were.
Yeah, like I say, I think that's going to be.
Insult to injury.
Or was it the other Seabelt car that was leading? Sorry.
No, they would have been the
because there's the 92 and the 93, haven't you? So yeah. We'll have to see once it all works. It's so far.
Always practice your pit stops. Practice them, because you never know where you're going to end up pitting, and well, you need to make sure you know where you are. Otherwise, you end up in a situation like that where it's so frustrating, not just for the driver, but you can feel up in the commentary booth, because
I was terrible for practicing pit stops, to be honest.
Same here.
You know, it's just something they always get forgetting about. You know, maybe you do 1 or 2 pit entries, pit outs, plenty of them.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, especially when you stick it in the wall.
So there's no excuses for when we used to get pit out speeding penalties. You know, so, but yeah. Well, there is. Testing, you know, you get them, do you? That's the thing, when you're doing testing, you just put to the floor and go.
Oh, yeah, you don't even think about it. Off you go. Don't worry about it. It's into the chat. Vilvac, go Simify, and also, now I'm going to butcher this one, Tide Panda. Yeah, that's not butchered really, is it, Tim? Let's go Maniti. Simify having a really strong result right now. Maniti having a strong one in Allen. Sorry, UTD. Now as well. Sure. That is the Peugeot impression. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for that one. Definitely. So we saw that was RD getting the move done there beautifully. Textbook move. Nice. Delatraz for P2 in Allen. Didn't see that one first time around.
No. Yeah, Twin Tone getting getting sent on for a spin.
So Delta Sport versus Walk Racing up the hill. Banging. Now this is one. A big crash.
Ah, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah,
yes.
We saw that.
Yeah, definitely. Save out. Yeah, we saw that. They squeezed Delatraz out into the wall, isn't it, earlier on? It's just keeping half alive. Live is right now. As that save out. Work to do, need to recover. Down 6 places. It's 93 car after a strong start.
Well, I'm going to say it was their second car that was running, because fortunately Roberto in the Seabelt esports 91 car still sitting P1, so that answered our question as to which Seabelt car it was.
It does.
So they do look very similar, and I didn't clock if there was any differences to which car it was anyway, so but yeah, process of elimination we kind of got there. But yeah, so they're putting some pressure on Dominic Engel in the core sim racing GTD car, and yeah, Dominic, obviously, you know Dominic well for hosting a lot of events, some very similar to this as well. He will certainly have an appreciation to the work that goes in behind the scenes that Sam and all the guys have put in. So yeah, well, hopefully. Anyway.
You can see Sam and Peter just currently eyeing up a
say.
few potential moves, and might be up for penalties right now. As the Mercedes of the core sim racing just...
I mean, they're smiling at each other looking at this incident as well, so... we'll see. So sorry to whoever's going to get a penalty there. There we go. North Sim Racing, 60-second stop and hold.
Aggressive overtake, so aggressive driving. Oh, North Sim Racing. Of course, ran very, very well in the GT... Apex Racing League GT Trophy. In hands of Salvatore Lani in the course. Salvatore? Yes, it was.
As the team mascot runs in. Right, what have we got coming on here? So this is Brabham Esports.
It's the calm before the storm, this app.
Yeah.
This is right now, Alex, because everyone's settled down. We've had, everyone's been through their pit stops.
Oh, literally, like you said, calm before the storm. But both the P2s there running just a little bit wide. But so Walk Racing red.
I think he's let him back through, has he? Alex? I think he has. However, it does now mean that the Walk car has, well, the Walk Racing yellow car has now closed up onto the back of them. And now, Walk Racing providing a Brabham Esports sandwich, which is sandwich-based, technically correct. However, in racing terms, it's not. So
see, they get it wrong. You are right. It is a Brabham Esports sandwich. The bread is
Walk Racing
Esports. Yeah, it's not white. It's not wholemeal. It's Walk Racing.
Trying to make some really bad joke. Walk is crispy and Walk, but yeah. You know, or Lays, they're called elsewhere in the world.
There's none. Challenge us, anyone. I'm sat there with the whiteboard.
He's sat there, yeah.
GIF thing. If anyone wants to say it's otherwise, I hear everyone say it wrong. But yeah.
Your keyboard ready to keyboard warrior. Anyone who tries to come up against you in the chat.
I'm ready in the chat. I'm not logged in as me, so it's fine. I can rage back on the chat. No problem. I feel like it is probably Sam's login that we're using for this. That's fine.
I just think, hold on, is it my login or is it actually Sam? If it's Sam's, that's fine. I could go to town in that one.
That's it. Challenge me. We'll go for it.
Oh dear. Dearie me. As well, just keeping you up to date with what's happened up front. Well, Race Clutch, they've come out of the pits and they've managed to extend that gap over. Well, it's turning out to be the battle for second that's more intriguing overall than in LMDH. It's Simufi and Effect Simulation 909. Only scrapping away. And also, they find themselves, Alex, in a nice little pocket of space right now to duke and duel this one out.
Yeah, exactly. They can have a bit of fun, can't they, here, and not worry too much about losing a place, or, I mean, maybe a bit of time to the leaders, but that's a little bit there. Yeah, obviously good race so far. I think first hour in the books, 2 more to go. Pit stops have all kind of happened. We've seen a few people kind of struggling in the stops, a few incidents, a few penalties being handed out now. I'd say a pretty good start.
It's not been a bad start indeed. It's really not been a bad start indeed, and a bad first hour at all. Still only 1/3 the way through this race though. We still have got a lot of racing to do here. Oh dear, Harvey Jones has had a bit of an incident out on track somewhere. Also, just looking as well, the Alcantech car, they've come back into the pits yet again in LMDH. Of course, like that earlier on incident, fell but right down through the order, behind absolutely everyone, and I think that might even... Oh, no, they're swapping drivers. I think Nicholas Rasmussen's getting into the car, so this is all about, well, damage limitation right now for them. As there they are. Just took
Nice side,
inside another car.
One of the little quirks with the shared pit stalls.
This is turning to the hokey cokey because Leonard Chambers got back in this car.
Yep.
Knees bent, arm stretch. Rah.
So Arnage, they've moved themselves up a little bit now, haven't they? I think they were in third before the pits, if I'm not mistaken.
They were indeed.
They were definitely behind
Miniti were in front
and
of
they've
them.
closed right in on the Seabelt guys here as well. So this is genuine battle for the lead.
In fact, that's Mercedes of Miniti has lost a whole chunk of time. So they lost it in the pit stop phase, Alex. Arnage. That's where it all happened. So Arnage will stop for 7 seconds less, just 7 seconds. So that's going to make a big difference. And maybe we spoke about that pit strategy element. Maybe just going for that lighter fuel load earlier for that track position. Well, I don't think there's no mind. It definitely looks like it's happening.
Yeah, let's see if they're going for a move and they're going for a short stint this time, or they're going to try and save fuel. It looks like they're going for it. Yeah, straight for a move, aggressive. With the overtake. I mean, it wasn't an aggressive overtake, it was a good overtake, but no, they're going, there was no hesitation, was there, you know?
Represented country there. Provoke from Luxembourg in the Arnage car. And currently now up into first place in GTD. Lovely little move from them, and just to be interested to see what they can do. Of course, that lighter fuel load really helping them at this stage of the race, but we'll lose that early on, but we'll really need to push on. And talking of pushing on and progressing, Walk Racing still providing the bread to the Brabham Esports sandwich. And so these three have just settled down into a bit of a ribbon, all on identical strategies. Actually, no, apologies, actually the yellow car of Walk Racing is at the rear of this three-car track. They put less fuel in the car, so they went for a similar sort of strat to what affected, and well, that proved to be great effect for them because that's taken them to the lead in that class. If they dropped down to, I think it was around about 7th in class.
Yeah, and they pitted quite a bit earlier as well, like 3 laps earlier, so I'm not sure quite what.
Maybe looking to, I mean, this isn't the one everyone just normally goes for. Come in, fill up to the max, come in, fill up to the max, come in, fill up to the max, and place a strategy out like that. Whereas it looks like maybe a few of the cars right now are going, okay,
doing the splash and things like that in different areas.
Or just
Seabelt
evening out.
10 seconds stop and hold. Which car number was that?
I didn't quite catch that.
I'm hoping one of the students are gonna.
Now, thanks to the beauty also, in fact, YouTube is slightly behind. We can actually pick up this and get to view it for a second time. I don't think there was no. I didn't think I'd seen a number on the overlay. There wasn't one, so that makes sense. You managed to have a little word with Tom Fitzpatrick.
I believe you said 290, but I'm getting a thumbs up, so yes.
290, so that'll be the LMP2 card then. So you'll start with 2. So there he is, Callum Rigar. Of course, was leading at one stage as well. And then had that great opted for the long stop. And this is what I was sort of getting into earlier, because I think maybe some of the drivers in similar categories are selecting, okay, we know we've got X amount of time. Let's even out the amount of fuel that we need to put in rather than just going for a fuel tank every time. Yes, they won't have that short stop at the end, but across the race distance, then surely, you're going to have that bit of a net gain, aren't you?
I think this is where
am I just talking?
No, I think you're right. I think that's a genuine option. Like if you were on a clear track, definitely, but it's whether the track will allow you to do that with all of the overtaking cars and things like that.
Well, that is a fair point. That is a fair point, and well, this is how tricky it gets. As there is our leader in LMP2, just trying to clear through some of said traffic in GTD. That's proven.
So he's still holding on to it as well, even though. Pure Sims looked like they were going to get a run earlier on. I just wanted to say as well, Michael Marlowe's been in the chat, obviously from Twin Turn. He got sent on a little spin, didn't he, earlier on? So Good to see he's in good spirits though in the chat after that, and looking forward to round 2. So, yeah, we'd like to see you back, Michael.
Let's definitely do it indeed. And Magicaro, they've managed to get past MA70. And also Clash are now up inside the top 10 after they managed to run it longer than anyone else in class. There they are. One of our remaining.
And they were long in the pits as well, so they've gone for a full tank again. So I think they're going to try and go with the short. So maybe their strategy will come back to them. There's a cluster ahead that they could jump depending on how much time they can save in the pits. But extending 1 or 2 laps every stint, you know, is going to make a difference.
Talking of stints, we've got some cars in LMP2 being Walk Racing Yellow. Of course, they put less fuel in.
And they pitted earlier, didn't they, last time? Lap 16, so 3 laps earlier, so it makes sense.
Delatraz Automotive being another one into the pits too, because they've had in the wars a little bit so far this race. Also, the Walk Racing blue car in as well. So that's going to release the Brabham car. No, apologies, because that's stuck behind another of the Walk Racing cars. That's the red machine. It's currently, what, 6th in class. The Brabham esports sitting Sid still tucked up behind them. As meanwhile, down into GTD, Seibelt being harassed right now by a Valkyrie competition. Gaetan Anger. I should say more of a French accent. Anger. Oh. He's clearly not driving in anger.
No,
he looks to be playing
patient.
Yeah. Playing more the conservative game, and I mean, of course, you experienced it yourself, didn't you, at Daytona 24 Hours, where your 2 cars pretty much pushed their way to victory, and the amount of fuel saving you can get just, well, I know that was a bit more extreme that your guys experienced. However, you know, just it's amazing how much fuel you can save by just sitting just comfortably behind the car. What, 2-3 tenths?
I mean, I think it used to be obviously a heck of a lot. It used to do. Obviously, they changed the draft model, and it's not quite as much now, is it? So, but yeah, it still does help the number.
I mean, even across a longer race like this, is what's the Seibelt LMP2 into the pits. Also, Brabham in as well, and Corson Racing. Sen Newman, who we haven't mentioned so far this race, he's just got out of the car. Pascal Stitz. I saw those two taking part in a very different championship on Apex Racing TV. We're talking part in the Apex Racing League trucks, so out on the oval. What a contrast! A NASCAR truck with no downforce at the rear, no grip at the rear, no downforce at all. Now into an LMP2. Real jack of all trades are those guys. Meanwhile, well, there's your leader from Arnage competition in GTD right now, and still pulling away over Seibelt. Roberto Ferrari, ironically, in a BMW, is the Italian. Just have words there.
Seeing the graphic on the screen for
pit stride. So that's an LMDH, and you can see the fluctuating differences between where everyone is at right now in their strategy. So it's going to be a few of those drivers due, what, about another 7 or so laps they've got left in the tank, maybe even 8. So we're going to see those guys starting to pit in. So they say about 90 car, that's only just heading out now. That is largely going to be due to their penalty that they incurred, isn't it, earlier on? They really struggled. So Thomas King has got into the car for them, the 290 machine. They're still leading. Out in front is Marto. And wow, what a gap this man has managed to, well, this young man, this talented young man, I mentioned earlier on, has picked up 4 championships to his neck. And he has got an 8.5 second lead. The action from earlier on in the ASUS ARL George Championship powered by Stormforce Gaming. And we've not reached that part of the race, haven't we? There's RD being style, I mean, firm but fair, and then clearing all the way. Oh, that was net code. And we didn't see that live, did we?
We did not see that live. That would make sense as to why Archie and RD Sim Sports are way down there. But yeah, heavy hit after some good side-by-side battle in there for.
I mean, it was really
half a
firm,
lap.
but it was fair.
Yeah.
It was elbows, not stuff.
And like I say, it was a shame it was netcode.
Now,
I don't know if there was some instant.
just seeing the effect car at LMDH out on our screens right now, I just glanced at the corner of my eye, Alex. Our leader from LMP2, which is Effect Simulation, they have come into the pits of the 908.
And they are.
Now they're back out again. They've come out, where have they come out? In 6th place in class. They're back to where they qualified. So they've actually net picked up a place from where they were previously, aside of actually the time difference they've managed to pick up. And they've stopped, and they've put in a full tank of fuel as well. Still no driver swap for them. Andy Dawson still remains in the car. But now this is going to keep everyone around them guessing, because they're on a different strat. The only people on a similar strat to them is Pascal Sticks, of course, Sim Racing. We're 2 places behind them, but some 15-odd seconds down the road. As talking of being further down the road right now, this is a bit further behind even Core. This is Brabham and No Limit Sim Racing. This battle for 9th place, and those two are swapping around.
Yeah, and Hunter McDaniel not taking any time to get gone as well. It's like he's just turned on the afterburner a little bit there.
Checked out.
Oh!
No. That's the Core Sim Racing LMP2?
No, I don't think that was Core.
No. I'm trying to have a bit of a look as to whether they've lost much time. I think it was, but it's tricky. It looked like netcode to me. Don't know about yourselves at home. I'm seeing it again on YouTube. We have the beauty of it being about 30 seconds behind ourselves here in the commentary box, and hard to tell from that camera angle. It'll be interesting to see from another one, but there's been a few cars that have fallen foul of the netcode gods, but sometimes netcode giveth and other times it taketh.
Yeah, it does. You know, you need to kind of be aware of who it is you're racing and what the pings are like and things like that, because in these high downforce hypercars, you know, the predictive code is even harder, isn't it? You know, like when you're racing MX-5s, oh, it's easy. Yeah, it's fine, it's great, you know, because they're slow and predictable moves and things like that. When you're racing these bullets, it's it's a different story. So you kind of have to give the sim racing gods a little bit of leeway, I think. So, but yeah, it's worth. This is where sim racing leagues come into their own. You start to understand, like, actually, you know, these guys are from this neck of the woods. I'll give them a little bit more room. That bubble is going to be a bit bigger with them. You know, it's like us in like Pesk and things like that. We know when we're up against the Aussies and things like that, you know, and you need to leave an extra car's width of room because one little jink of a steering wheel and it's all over. Yeah. Even if you catch it straight away and go back, it's enough that you can just wipe them out. So I know I have taken my teammate out by jinking to the left for no time at all. It was just a little funny thing. And of course the netcode was just like, you did what? He just sent him to Timbuktu. Yeah, poor Michael Dinkle. If I'm sure he's not watching, but if he is here, I'm sure he will remember that. Maybe someone can find the clip at some point and from the. I think it might have even been the Pro Series. I don't even think it was the World Championship. I'm not sure. Good times.
Only.
And yeah, just as the pop-up message there that came up on YouTube a moment ago, if you haven't subscribed to Apex Racing TV, please do. Obviously, really helps the channel out. It helps the algorithm, helps boost the channel a little bit. So do the likes, all the chatting that you're doing. You know, all makes a big difference as well. So again, if you've got any questions for me and Tim, please go and ask ahead, and yeah, please whack some likes in there for us as well. Hopefully you like what we're doing with the league, and all the teams and all the racers that are watching this can support that. You know, it's always good for us to try and show these kind of likes and interactions to people like ASUS and Stormforce, you know, that's kind of why they get behind that. You know, let's be truthful, right? It's a big marketing thing for them. You know, they get involved if it's worth their while. So you guys interacting with us, kind of what makes it happen. So yeah, please do, and we can put on more series like this.
Well, and equally, that then allows us to bring even more money, prizes into sim racing as a whole.
Exactly.
Something that's been, you know, underappreciated competitive esports scenes that just doesn't have the recognition and the love that it deserves, and it's about time.
We're a funny bunch, us sim racers as well, because I don't think we like to chat and interact in like post-race comments or things like that. I see it stuff on Twitter, stuff on Instagram. Lots of likes. We love liking, but we don't like commenting that much. So
just economical, like we are with our inputs, you know.
Exactly. We want minimal
inputs,
little,
you know, tiny little adjustments.
I can click a love heart on Instagram.
Twitter. Yeah.
So or yeah, Twitter. Just that's why I like the retweets on Twitter. It's nice and easy.
Talking of comments, 1X Racer, fiercely forward, was turned on that one as back to P5. Let's go. Damn right. That's someone not being economical with their words.
Yeah.
Not just hitting like. But if you haven't, by the way, if you haven't, 55 of you had, but 124 of you are watching. Well, where is the remaining 70 odd of you? Make sure you hit that like button now.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's get that to at least 100. At least we could do that before the end of the race. We can do that. Come on.
North Sim Racing 34, 60 seconds stop and hold.
Well, is that their second penalty in the evening?
There we go. So
it's the second one, isn't it? It's not been their afternoon. It's all effects got past Simufy.
Sam and Pete engage in savage mode. Yeah, literally. Pete just slapped the ban hammer down. He's waiting. He's ready. Oh, don't do it anymore, guys. You'll be out of here. Oh.
That is the change for second. Dunton does this lovely little move there. They've been eyeing up that last couple of laps, has Robin Mass. Mass not hanging around there at all and getting the move done. Although they're going to squeeze themselves free wide here. And Mass just shuts the door right in the face of Broger there. Simufy, and then heads off into the distance. All that's going on race clutch to the hands of Marteau. They are, well, 11.7 seconds off the road. Looking strong for victory here from Spa in round one, the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Series, powered by Stormforce Gaming. I mean, that's roughly, that averages out about a second every 10 minutes that Marteau has pulled away from effects and Simufy. That is incredible stuff right now. As there is your leaders. Oh, he came through a bit of a cloud of smoke there. Now, was that someone off? I'm not too sure. No one else looking like they're going slow. Must have been a bit of a locked brake, which seems a bit strange from the BMW because, of course, GT3's having anti-lock brakes as well. These two, they've had a good scrap always. But Magic Arrow have been involved a lot. That's them getting past Scuderia Volpe Viola right now. MA70 have been involved in battle pretty much almost wrong with Magic Arrow. They've dropped off back a little bit of G Esports Racing team. However, it definitely hasn't been quiet for Norbert Tamas of Magic Arrow. He's had an eventful first hour and 20 minutes. Just taking a little bit of a look through the standings. Where are we right now? As you've mentioned that in LMDH, LMP2, Pure Sims, Brabham, Esports, and Sincere. And now for Esports, that's your podium in LMP2. However, it is looking a little bit close as those two effect simulation machines, but namely the 906, which is at the hand of Aston Anglers, the Dutch outfits. They've got little orange highlights on their wings just to make it a little bit easier for ESC on the commentary booth. They're lying fourth. However, the 908 machine is on that alternate pit strategy, so not too sure how that one's going to work out. So still everything up for grabs, certainly for second, but whether Pearson's done enough. I mean, We talk about Marto and the lead he's built up for Race Clutch overall in LMDH. However, Pure Sims 17, nearly down at 18 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, you have to say.
Right, as they're all into the pits right now. So, right, now we get to understand maybe a little bit as here comes Alpha Esports, Effect 906 in. So 908 will continue on again because, of course, they stopped earlier. They're on that alternate strategy. They will resume the lead of the race here at Spa. Also moving up will be Core Sim Racing. Oh, hold on, that's whoa, that's Simify Esports who were running second in LMDH. And that's a big shunt, Alex, because that car is crabbing. And, well, as you said earlier, it's got the Porsche Hypercar effect, as that's the Brabham Esports Racing Sid car just coming through, and the RD car as well in MDH. That's been in the wars a little bit, but they're into the pits. Oh, Alex, that's had a big shunt.
I mean, that would definitely be a meatball in real life, wouldn't it? We'd be begging them to get off that circuit. Yeah, did well to hold it. It looked like it was tough to drive. So we check in with this battle for second place in GTD. So Sable Esports and Manatee.
Let's take a little look at the replay. How it panned out. So they were battling with Effect and had been for quite a while now. So Effect made it their way through. Let's look at the move done. Oh, they went right around the outside of Simify, a long way round, still looking safe from that point forward. Right, now this is where it gets interesting.
Nice from Todd on his own.
Just caught a bit too much of the gravel on the exit, really is pushing hard.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, MDH things. That's exactly what it felt like for me at Fuji when we did the VCO Infinity series. 1 minute I was trundling along, happily up 15 places. The next minute I was in the wall.
Show the kids, oh, it's all done, and then show them how not to do it. just the full array of lessons, really.
That's it, that big just bites you, I tell you.
So, there is a Roberto Ferrari right now. The driver, ironically, and I'm really disappointed by this one for Roberto, not in a Ferrari.
I mean,
have words with yourself. You're Italian.
I was about to say, this is...
I mean, a Lamborghini, well, that probably would be even more controversial.
I was about to say, I don't think you could do that.
No, the rivalry that Old Man Ferrari and Old Man Lamborghini had, after, of course, the famous story of how Ferrari told him that he just made tractors and he could never make a car as good as a Ferrari, which Old Man Lamborghini said, hold my beer, watch this. So there goes the leader in LMP2. Is the Effect Simulations 908, as that's the Geodesic car. Just casually just sliding their way through, and talking of sliding their way through, Magic Arrow right now, and Ken Scuderia Volpe even, sorry. It's the Viola car. And ding ding round about 200 million, I'd say. At pretty much every single corner these two go out.
Yeah. I want to circle us back to Lamborghini talk. I know there is one in here. Maybe we can have it just pop up on screen for a little second. But what is the greatest Lamborghini of all time?
Oh, that's controversial. Yeah, maybe? Sales-wise, the Garden chose to transform the company from nearly being out of business to...
That was the slightly cheaper one, wasn't it, I think?
It was, yeah, the V10. It was basically...
the one set on fire easy. I feel like many people burned them out.
Yeah, same with the Ferrari 458. They caught, was it 488? They caught fire a lot when they first came out. For me, probably I'd say Diablo.
Yeah, nice.
Just that poster card as car as a child, growing up. It's like a true essence of what a supercar should like. Just crazy looking. Looks like it should have machine guns coming out of it. Absolutely spectacular car.
I'm going to go with Lamborghini Countach.
Interesting.
So yeah, definitely a 1980s baby me. Yeah, give me the American Countach. That's the one that had to have the wing at the front because it actually was a bumper.
Yes.
That but they turned it into look like a wing. But yeah, give it like some kind of bump to support. Yeah. So yeah, wing at the front, wing at the back. Ah, pure class. That is. So yeah. I've been begging George Simmons to find me a model of one of those to paint. But yeah, he's yet to do it. So if I can get one in Apex colours, that'd be my little dream. So anyway, yeah.
It's your fault for taking on some more drivers and keeping him preoccupied. Then talking of keeping it preoccupied.
Battle here.
Race Geodesic and Effects. Well, Effects both had a change in cars, and that's actually changing drivers, and that's Geodesic just getting past. That's Dan Neese. That's into 10th in class. Michael Vesta into the Effect 906 car.
See, got a Countach follower on the chat. I'm feeling it. There was a penalty there, Alpha Esport by G Performance, getting the penalty, the stop and hold.
Marlo saying Diablo.
Yep, here he comes into the pits as well.
Smoothly Kumo, the LM002, the Rambo Rambo. That's kind of niche, man. It's proper niche. And just bringing us up to speed with where we are at. It's now Clash who lead in LMP2. Those guys, of course, now they are out of sync compared to absolutely everyone else. Everyone else in LMDH has now pitted. However, they are going one lap extra again, maybe even two, in fact. Yes, they're going for the extra lap across the stint, which now means
every time, don't they?
Yeah.
So, like you say, are they going to be two now?
Well, they are indeed. Yeah. As that is the Effect car trying to squeeze their way. Well, actually, no, sorry. Flash the lights, not overly impressed there. As I think that is your leader in LMP2, Dawson. Yes, that is, yeah.
I mean, they had enough overspeed. I think they're all right. But, yeah, leaders like to have a flash. Or maybe it was just a, hey, mutual leaders.
Yeah.
Flash. Yeah. I'm optimistic.
Yeah, that is very optimistic. That is I've never known lights to be used in that format.
Well, I would like to make that a thing next time, please. Hear me now. If you're on the chat and your teammates are in the lead and you go past the other P1 car in their class, come on, give us a flash.
That reminds me of a bit of commentary that the late great Murray Walker did back in the old days of British touring cars. And a driver called John Cleland gave another one of his drivers the one-fingered salute, and Murray started out as I'm going for first, says John Cleland.
Yeah. I mean, we have SDK cameras, you know? I would like to make that a little ritual as well. I would take that as an incentive to use the FDK overlay camera system. If you guys are second and going for first, I will happily, I mean, Lee will probably not agree with me. I will happily broadcast that.
It is marked for mature audiences.
Exactly.
It's skirting on the edge, but you know,
so,
it's I'm sure we can get it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it in there. Yes, we've got another driver going for first.
And on that bombshell, we're exactly halfway through the race, Alex.
Yeah,
we've made it 50% of the way, and Clash are in.
That ticked on by quite quickly.
And they've made it, they've done another lap in this stint yet again. So they're now 2 laps ahead in terms of fuel saving than absolutely everyone in LMDH.
What are we looking at? 4 stops, right? So there's going to be...
For them? Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be like...
No. Are they...
What are they going to say?
No, this is... Hold on. Let me break... Now... For those of you who have smell vision, you will not smell the burning that's going on right now as I try and think and work this one out. So, they will have to stop in about another 45 minutes' time. However, this depends what sort of pace that Race Clutch managed to set. So, They've had a change in driver. Benjamin Frego's got into the car. Marto has got out. A scintillating first stint from him. You see why he's reigning LMDH champion in the Apex Racing League. I love that car. Just the cars whistle past while they're heading up the hill. Now, I think they might do some free stops.
I think this is what they're trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, now, I think that this is time for a poll, if there ever was one. Can they save enough fuel to miss one stop? Can Clash do it?
I mean, looking at the gap that they've got from everyone else, they're still not going to be in contention for a win. I mean, I know they still keep going to the front, so it's a bit of a debate, but I think they keep losing enough time, but it could give them a really strong result. Maybe I'm wrong on my calculations there, and maybe they're just going to pull out an absolute shocker and that nobody even thought was possible.
Well, if
it's too late to react for anyone now. They needed to be safe from the very first lap, and that's what they've done. They've gone into this race and gone,
do you know what?
We are saving.
Yeah, this is our delta. This is what we need to do. And they've clearly tested this, Alex. They clearly know something that not everyone else has worked out. And I think, depending on what happens after we're done in an hour and a half's time, that's going to influence what a fair few other teams start looking at, thinking, hold on a minute, these guys are onto something here. Maybe we need to look at what they've done and try and emulate this in future rounds.
Yeah, so I'm hearing it's a splash, or via the chat. Thank you, Onyx Racer. So they'll be 30 seconds ahead of where they are now. So that's what was looking at losing. So where have they come out? Yeah.
So right, that is going to put them.
Difficult to say without clicking on them and getting the actual interval delta, but it's definitely over 30 seconds to the lead at the moment.
It is. I tell you what, Alex. Though, I tell you what.
Producer in my ear, giving me some tips there, reminding me.
It's going to throw them potentially onto the podium, and I think fiercely forward certainly, possibly even affects Simulations 999. They need to be worried right now. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Have you managed to? Ooh. Now, if I'm seeing that right, I think that puts them in second.
Yeah.
And leaps them onto a podium.
Second,
and a strong podium.
28 seconds in behind current P2 FX Simulations. So yeah, like I say, we'll keep an eye on that gap.
Now, hold on. Let's talk about this one. So if they've managed 28 seconds by the halfway stage of the race, now I know that we lost a big chunk of that time during pit stops. Sorry, no, not pit stops. Apologies. The initial traffic, which always, of course, puts cat amongst pigeons, scatter things around. However, they're looking strong for this. Is it too far away to say that they could end up winning this? I mean, what a turn up for the bets of that. Yeah, a true underdog story if there ever was one from Clash. If they can pull this one out of the bag.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll find out in 1 hour and 25 minutes time, in fact, as that meanderings has got us through the last 5 minutes, to say the least. As there is the car in question. Well, they've got Galin Dimov currently in the car with them right now. A Bulgarian, and, well, needs another strong result from him. After Emil Stanciu into
3-4 cars involved in that.
That's down Lacombe, and that is your second place car as well. Now that's going to cost them even more timeouts, because look, that's backed them right into Fiercely Forward, who are now right behind them. And also, Netrex are right behind. Yeah, Netrex are right behind them as well. This is suddenly blown out, and to the point of this is going to shuffle around. As Brabham Esports Hissing said, they've received a warning for dangerous pit entry. Oh, they are drifting out in the hands of Antal Rafael Sabo, New Zealander. Meanwhile, down in GTD, we spoke about these guys too much for a while. However, that Sabout car making up some progress. The next shot for them is the Dutch Sim. Get your words out, Timothy, for God's sake. Dutch Sim Racing Team Esports.
Of course, they were a lot further up the field earlier on because of the not finding the pit box.
Oh, I mean, that just invoked the Austin Powers million-point turn meme, to say the least.
I mean, I want to maybe that will make the cut to the, you know, the Stormforce.
Stormforce spotlight moment.
Stormforce spotlight moment. Maybe it's a commiseration prize.
Yeah,
might end up being.
I
mean, if he went forward and...
Hold on, Alex, that's not good, because that is the magic arrow card that's been locked in a battle with Scuderia Volpe for so long, and they finally lost out. And now, due to all that battling, M870 are right behind them. Simufi aren't far behind too, so that really jumbles things up in this battle for 6th place. LMDH in overall right now, and Norbert Tamas, that one mistake costing him so dearly. And talking mistakes and dearly, I mean, that instant earlier on that Effect got caught up in, I mean, they were sitting really comfortably. It was about a 4-second lead over Fiercely Forward. Just caught up in that incident at Lacoon. So Marmody even. They're about to get together, so we can get away with that one. But now they're right into the mix, and, well, right behind them are Fiercely Forward. Rex are not far behind them either.
Oh, they're getting antsy. Want to get moving here as well. Back marker side by side. Fiercely Forward having a look around the outside. They're getting getting stuck behind the back marker. Oh,
Robin Veerman. Wow, you are... Oh, there's contact, there's contact.
There was a lot of impatience creeping in there, and it did not surprise me that happened.
It was brewing, wasn't it? It was brewing. You could see it.
I feel
coming.
like I'm not sure who the back marker was there. I couldn't quite make it out, but I feel like they were just panicking because they were just getting swamped.
Hold on, Alex, though, but this isn't doomed because NetRex are surely going to capitalise here, and they've got the move done over Fiercely Forward. And that's then now up into the podium positions overall. That's at the hands of Stekau, a Polish driver. He held on, kept his foot in there, got the move done. However, Veerman has managed to pull out some nearly 2 seconds gap over NetRex and Fiercely Forward. During all that melee and exchange that we currently experience. As well, talking of melee and such like further down through the field. Say about, as we mentioned earlier, that incident really costing them dearly. And they just couldn't find their pit box. And they're on for a strong result with the 93 machine. The sister car's moving a lot better on after leading earlier on. They have dropped back down to 2nd place. And what was a BMW Mercedes BMW podium is now flipped on its head. It's now down to a Mercedes BMW Mercedes podium. We're currently experiencing in GTD with Maniti leading over Saybelt, and then Astro now into 3rd after Arnage dropping out of that top 3.
Not gonna lie, I quite like that. Being, you know, we announced our new Mercedes-Benz AMG partnership just a couple of weeks ago. We'll take that.
Indeed, we're speaking you a lot more in the Audi of recently. Obviously, the BMW, the Porsche before that. It's just overdue, really, when they go to Mercedes, and why not, with a nice partnership to boot with them.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, Maniti Racing. Not really. I mean, they lost a place. They were down to 3rd, right? So, not really sure kind of how they got up there.
Just been chipping away. They've been consistent, Alex. That is all it has been. They've got Nicholas Matteo currently.
So obviously we did have Arnage. Arnage have pitted, and they did a 29-second stop. So they are our net leaders, aren't they?
They are, and that's why it's flipped. That's why it's flipped. Well spotted. I did wonder where they'd lost quite a bit of time, as you mentioned. But there you go. That's why it's flipped on its head suddenly, and it will come back into a line. So now we've got numerous teams on alternate strategies. We've got we've got Clash in LMDH. We've got Effect in in LMP2. And it's not too bad currently in GTD. However, with that short stop from Arnage then, that suddenly put the cat amongst pigeons for them and just keeps other people guessing.
And I'm guessing Arnage were light on the last stop as well, a little bit, which is why they were quick and worked their way all the way to the front. So let's see kind of how that pans out. I imagine they're going to be light now too.
Well, maybe they're just, you know, taking a bit of what I said earlier and just trying to balance out those stops, go for a lighter car each time. It does hurt you with that last pit stop where everyone was splashing and dashing and you will need to take on that bit more fuel, but if you try and make net gains throughout it, then, hey, it works. And maybe it's something else, sort of, you know, another part of the strategy element, like we're seeing with Clash right now, where they've just gone, right, okay, we're fuel saving, we're not battling for the win, we're not battling for places, you want to come past us, go on, be our guest. You take the position from us, says Hydra Race Gia Desic 62, post-race 10-second penalty, ignoring blue flags. Yeah.
Well, yep, don't want to do that. Just goes to show. Was that a massive? Was that what caused the big check-up and collision?
I think it must have been.
No, just shake of the head, it's not that one.
Well, that's handy that we've got the stewards literally sat right behind us.
Yeah.
Whereas I can see Peter Berryman.
I was questioning the closeness of this arrangement.
I was as well
when we first sat down. But
it's pretty fruitful.
I think it makes sense. I'm enjoying the thumbs up and things like that, and yeah, the little bit of information.
And I see Sam Fitzpatrick. He's doing all the hard work. Peter Berryman's just eating his sweets, giving it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and that's it. No questions asked. Sam picks out the next one. Off they go again. And talking of off they go again, well, now got the two Brabham cars running line astern, 5th and 6th in LMP2, these two, and in a bit of a bubble by themselves. Now, it's been a bit of an eventful afternoon, certainly for the Hissing Sid outfit, who started really, really strongly, but have dropped 3 places. They've got Hunter McDaniel now into the car for the second half of the race. They have dropped those 3 places in the earlier stages, and we're running in the podium positions as well, sort of eventful.
What's the penalty? They did get penalty, didn't they?
They did.
Was it the warning?
No warning. It was a warning we've just had now. So no, sorry, it's post-race penalty. They had a warning and then a post-race 10-second penalty for ignoring the blue flags.
That wasn't a hissing.
No, that was a normal car, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. This is where it gets so
like
confusing when you have 2 cars in the same class.
What I'll actually do is I'll ask our stewards quite nicely send us a link to the Endurance Championship penalty sheet, just so that we can see that and reference that as well. Thank you very much, guys.
So, LMDH, I was about to say LMP2. So used to being the top class. No, that's side, and there's contact, but Netrex go right around the outside, and Effect could even lose another place here. It's fiercely forward, tried to seek the opportunistic chance through Blanchimont, but had to back out of it there, down into the bus stop chicane, and that could well be, well, this is where have Netrex made the move too early, because all the way up the hill, all the way down the Kemmel Straight, Effect and Fiercely Forward are going to have the slipstream on Netrex, and they could out-drag them. That's going to be interesting to see. That's Simyafi, who of course on the podium overall, that down all the way to 8th right now. They're stuck in that battle there. So I'm keeping half an eye on the top left. Oh, there's been a spinner. There's one that BMW's there. They've been involved in the instant down the Kemmel Straight.
Down the straight, yeah.
Oh, there's an LMDH.
I feel like we might see that on the replay.
Oh, right around the outside goes Effect, and that is a beautiful little move there, but it's not done and dusted. They've still got a bit of traffic. They've got the Mercedes just ahead of them, and they've cleared that with Effect there, and they all remain in one long line, but this is getting fierce. It's getting feisty, and we've still got another 1.25 hours of this to play out. Who is going to take it between these 3?
Yeah, plenty of time for this to.
I think there's going to be a few more tears. There's going to be a few more bent door panels. maybe even a lost wing or two. A bit of trim piece, well, they won't be worried about that in the slightest. Veerman, he's really, really giving it absolutely everything that he has got right now. After losing to Netrex pretty much at this point in the last lap. Second place, then reclaimed it. He goes defensive to the inside. It's Netrex right around the outside of Blanchimont as they squeeze Effect down low. And here comes Fiercely Forward, trying to find their way past. Can't get it done again. It's divided Netrex. So they come onto the brakes. They've got the Lamborghini just in front of them. They're going to catch that at just the right time. They'll get them at corner exit as they swoop underneath it. We look back from the Effects car, and that is Fiercely Forward just behind us. But yet again, they're in the same position. It's Netrex in front of Effect. Fiercely Forward cannot sneak their way past Effect to get themselves up into third. And Fiercely Forward, Black 1, 2, 4. Post-race penalty now. That plays into Effect because that is the car at the rear end of this train. And they squeeze their way through past the BMW there. But it does mean Effect's just lost that little bit of touch with the Netrex car. Now Fiercely Forward, who we're on board with, they're the car with the penalty that 5 seconds post-race. They need to clear Effect and Netrex and get up the road and get well in front of them by greater than 5 seconds. Otherwise, they could kiss goodbye to finishing on the podium. And as things stand at the moment, the best that they can hope for is finishing in 4th, because with that 5-second penalty, going to put them on, what, 28 seconds behind the leader? Still keeps them with about, what, 4 or 5 second advantage over GE Esports Racing Team, currently lying in 5th. Oh, deep breath. GTD, Seabelt Esports 93 machine. They've got Valkyrie Competition not too far behind. These two have been closing in on one another for a little while. Interesting to see how that one progresses. Let's take a little look at some replays here in the ASUS ARL Endurance Championship by Stormforce Gaming. And that...
Oh, that was the big...
Yeah.
Even the Pure Sims were involved in this. They had to check right up to a standstill.
This is on board.
You know, everybody's screeching to a halt trying to avoid that.
And that's where Effect lost all of that time. And this is where... So that's the first time they lost it. Second place, that is. Ah, no, this is going to be the crash. Oh, just misunderstanding.
Yeah, big hit.
I mean, the BMW's on the racing line, and then...
They jinked, they went left and then decided,
I think they panicked, because it's almost like... basically what happened was the GTD was the BMW was sticking to the racing line, which is what you should do. However, they then panicked because they thought, oh, hold on a minute, this DPI is not going to move from the racing line. Maybe I should move across, of which the DPI thought, oh no, he's sticking to the racing line, I'm going to jinx right, and then it's one of those when you go up a set of stairs and there's only enough room for, like, you know, just 2 people to get past. You're like, oh, left, right, oh, right, oh, what do I do? And then that's it.
You wanna obviously keep an eye on what the guys are doing behind and make sure you give them enough room, but you definitely need to make just one move. So yeah, stick to your racing line. That's what they're expecting. It's easy for me to say.
It's
the commentary book.
Very easy for us to say.
But yeah, that is kind of like the rule. Stick to your racing line. They know what you're going to do. They've got the downforce to be able to adjust their line and get around you. So I think.
Oh, no. That was the Symphony Esports car.
I hate to say it, but I think he just stuck to his racing. So, but yeah, so sorry about that. I feel like that's all of me.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, that's a real shame, because Symphony were catching in the back of Magic Arrow and Scuderia Volpe. Also, I tell you what, MA70, they have dropped off a little bit, Alex, haven't they? Because they were right involved to back up onto the back of Magic Arrow. However, they have dropped that time. I think it's time for another Clash update of how they're doing it as well, Alex. So, as things at the moment, look, there they are. 35 seconds is the gap between themselves in second place.
Yeah,
30 seconds, and that stops. That now puts them to 5th.
Yeah, slipping away a little bit at the minute. So,
oh, MA70 have got a 5-second post-race penalty for causing a collision. Well, that really takes them out of that equation, because they were, well, falling off the back of Timothy and Co. ahead of them. now. That's, well, yeah, that fully puts them out. I think ninth is looking as good as they are going to finish here today. However, Scuderia Volpe Verde could potentially nip them if they have a good pit stop phase. And this is close, isn't it? Between, well, the other Scuderia Volpe outfit, this is the Viola car, currently in 6th overall right now with Magic Arrow right behind us. So fiercely forward, hold on a minute. Well, they've jumped Effect and now the path. Netrex, where have Effect gone? They were right up onto the back of these guys.
3 seconds back, maybe slow down or something like that? Yeah, there's a few questions being asked in the chat about the fiercely forward penalty.
Great competition. They head out through the Kemmel Straight. Ooh, that's never reassuring to see. A big blink from the car in front of you. That's the Valkyrie car having a big blink right there. Trying to spot who it is behind them right now. I've got to say, one of my favourite liveries so far has been that Valkyrie car. It's simple but really effective. And also nice bright colours, always good for us here in commentary booth.
Helps us, yeah, make them out that much easier, doesn't it?
It does.
Helps us, yeah, make them out that much easier, doesn't it?
It does. It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about the Stormforce Gaming livery on the Porsche Cup cars. You just see him a country mile.
Yep.
In fact, I was talking to your social media guy, Lewis Ward, and he was saying how it makes life so much easier. It's like doing nice graphics because it's obvious that's where they are in a pack of cars. You can't miss them for a country mile.
Yeah, I think Stormforce have enjoyed having them in there, and we've been able to get some good social media coverage for them. So yeah, they've been chuffed. Oh, love it. That's what you like to see.
It is.
I thought it was 3 different classes going either side. You know, but I'll take it anyway. They still look good.
Oh, yeah, it's still a nice little photo shot there.
Yeah.
That in fact being the Scuderia Volpe Viola car. Now they've lost out a little bit here because Simifi have caught them and got past them. Also Magic Arrow have passed them too, so clearly lost out in that drag race all at the hill. And one thing we haven't actually spoken about so far, Alex, of course, these new LMDH cars, some of them have hybrids, some don't, vast majority do, but one of the things is, especially in these endurance events, is how you deploy and utilize that energy management side of the car. Do you obviously you've got the 3 options, you've got build, you've got normal mode, and then you've got attack. But attack is great, but it builds, once you fall out and you have no battery deployment whatsoever, these cars are pretty much as quick as an LMP2.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's important. I mean, I'm not clued enough to say confidently what the strategy should be. Like, if you know you've got a lap that you're going to have like a whole ton of lapped cars that you've got to deal with, do you turn it down to try and save some so you can have a blast of a lap when you're clear? I mean, that makes sense, but do people just leave it on in the middle and go and things like that? But no, iRacing have tried to make it a little bit easier than the P1s. The P1s were very, very complex with how you would save. The F1s even more so back in the day, so they tried to make them more drivable, which I think is good.
We'll talk about, we spoke about battles being up and down through the field. This is the Alpha Esports and Arctic Racing battle in LMP2. It's over 18th in class. Right on the tail end of the field. This hasn't stopped them having a real scrap and trying to manage their way through the traffic right now. About those net gains, and
that's what I said at the start of the race, Tim. There's someone for everyone to race.
You absolutely called it, and being well proved as we're fast approaching the 2-hour mark, 2/3 race distance complete, and it's still happening right now as well. It's definitely reached that nice calm part. However, with this last hour impending, this is where it gets interesting because you're going to have lots of varying strategies. Do you run it, those teams that have been running it long, do they go for just a splash and dash then? Do they go for maybe slightly shorter, try and even out the 2 stints? We've got teams on alternate strategies, clashing LMDH even. We've got Effect in the 908 machine in LMP2. They've been running short stints there. They've had a driver change. Paul Busby's now got into the car. And they've done a longer stint during that driver change. That's probably to negate the fact, so obviously, you know, it costs you at least 20 seconds to make a driver change. So they're now lying 4th, which is a lot stronger than where they were previously, Alex. So that strategy's clearly played a bit of dividends, because they had dropped far down as 7th place. And also on that alternate strategy as well are, of course, Sim Racing. Pascal Sticks, the Austrian, he's in the car. Now they've gained 1 place. However, Hydra Race Geodesic, they're on an absolute flyer, who's the meat in that sandwich right now. They're up an incredible 12 places in class.
Yeah, they've had an amazing stint.
And they're there on raw pace.
Yeah, because they've still only done 2 stops as well. You've got effect simulations, and they're on 3 stops. Does that mean you think they've done a splash already?
Well, they had that shorter stunt when Andy Dawson was in the car. So
they did, yes.
Where they led, kept leading, and then yo-yoing around a little bit. So, as I said, they had dropped as far down as 7th, so that's clearly recovered.
They're not going to have that splash per se, are they?
Well, I suppose it depends what they decide to do with the car, really, doesn't it? Because, I mean, do they even out a little bit, or be fascinating to see how those two play that one out. That's for sure. Talking about fascinating how things play out. Scuderia Volpe, after running strongly, have dropped right off the back. So they were a second behind these two, Magic Arrow and Simifi Esports. Now let's not forget Simifi were in the podium positions earlier on, but it was a big shunt that really harmed them, and they tumbled through the order. Now Magic Arrows, who they're up against, and clearly they're stronger in pace as an overall team, although Christian Mamela, who's now got into the car for Simifi, is not as strong as his predecessor. However, there's still an incredible 8K iRacing. So I say that with a massive pinch of salt right now. Norbert Tamas is in the car for Magic Arrow, and really holding his own right now. This guy's, but I say just what is he, 4.8K? No, 4.1 iRacing.
Nice. So
there is a Tim Cox and a Sam Fitzpatrick in iRacing difference between these two. And that's largely to Sam. As we normally like to measure things out here when we're with the commentary booth together, but it just shows...
we need to do more Tim versus Sam.
No, please not. Unless it's just driving Mazdas in reverse around, I think not kill. That's the only thing I ever found myself to be good at. But yeah, it just goes to show some drivers, it doesn't matter on iRacing ability, it's all about holding your own and really doing some absolutely great effects right now.
Good battle here.
Oh, this is where they
are trying to get themselves back up there.
And I think that is Lamella going to get the move done finally. He's got sick and tired of looking at the back end of that Magic Arrow BMW LMDH.
Right, saying that car looked like a bit of a mess earlier on.
It did, yeah. They stuck it in the wall. That was coming... That was towards the rear end of the track, wasn't it? They were coming out of Blanchemont.
Was it Blanchemont or Paul Frere? I think it was Paul Frere.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
That dodgy curb.
It was, yeah. It was, yeah, on the exit. They ran it a bit wide, as where they were battling massively with effects at the time, weren't they? And they were just pushing so hard, drifted out wide, just as you naturally do, just caught that bit of gravel and ended up sticking it in the wall, and really gutting, because that would have been fascinating to see. We've had an intriguing battle between Fiercely Forward, Netrex and Effect. And in fact, actually...
They would have been right in that mix.
Yeah, they would have been. Also, now Fiercely Forward Black have a 5-second post-race penalty. Now, as things stood, well, when it got announced, that meant the best they could finish was 4th. However, due to Effect just struggling with mid-race pace right now after falling off the back of this group and being some falling battles with Netrex and Fearless Forward.
The change of positions again for 6th and 7th side by side.
Ooh. I'll tell you what, Tamas had the door slammed right in his face. But yeah, Fearlessly Forward now, even with the 5-second post-race penalty, still finish on the podium. Because that will put him on plus 28 seconds. I mean, Race Clutch, different league right now. No question about that one.
I mean, we've still got an hour left of this race. I think that you got to remember they were facing backwards at the start of this race. Lap 1, turn 1?
Yes, they were.
I believe it was those guys, right? You know, they've fought their way here. They will have some pit stops. They'll get out of draft, maybe. And it takes a few bits of dodgy traffic and...
Like this, when you try and squeeze yourself between two GTDs and then you have to elect to go right.
Oh, dear. That's not what you want for the Sable car.
Wow. And desperately trying to catch on to the Simify. So, well, talking of those intriguing battles, so that is where Fiercely Forward got to ahead of Effect. Oh, now that was not good.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we?
Yeah, Simify there. Which I think that's what they got the penalty for, wasn't it, as well? I do believe, if memory serves me right. And there is the Magic Arrow car previously.
Yeah, Fiercely Forward making some more races. Same overtake for...
These two have had an enthralling battle, haven't they? Between the pair of them, Tamas and Lamella. And Tamas really holding his own against what is Vertical is a much stronger driver on paper based on iRacing number anyway. There's
been more out of the pits here, so where's he came out just behind Effect Simulations as well, 5.6 seconds, so
right now
slowly eating into it. That looks like another full stint though, 35 seconds in the box.
So that's going to take him up to 2 hours 48 minutes, so that will be roughly, because you look at about a 45-minute stint per car. Now means that Busby for Effect now leads LMP2. They are on, of course, the alternate strat as well. I mean, then just looking at the pit stop laps, I mean, LMDH pretty consistent across the whole field, when except for Clash. However, LMP2, it's all over the shop, isn't it? That is a really tricky conundrum to try and work out. As there is your leader right now. However, they're on a massively different strategy that was played out very early on, where they lost all those places, threw caution to the wind, went with something different, went for a short stint mid-race. Has it hauled them up? We don't quite know really yet. But this is the team really making progress. As early on had their debut in top split at the Sebring 12 hour, and really grown in strength. We saw a great result for Jack Wilson, who's going to be appearing later in the season in the LMDH car. We had the, well, I was with you in Clio Cup, had the first challenge at Silverstone earlier this season, last season. And there is Sekala. Wilson will be appearing in later in the season. Glad they elected Jack, because his well, namesake Josh Wilson, who drives him, is prone to a crash or two. I can say that because Josh was the one who pointed out about the tent earlier on. Thank you, Josh. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how he gets on. I mean, what a contrast. LMDH to Clio Cup. Who was that? I missed that. Who was that with the penalty?
So, Fist Forward with a drive-through.
Oh, no.
This is going to be controversial.
Right, they're into the pits now, so it's this to deserve it.
Especially in the chat, they were, not happy about the other incident with the back marker, so yeah.
Tenzien there, just heading down pit road. I'm trying to keep an eye out. I think they are serving that straight away. Let's keep an eye on that one. Yes, I would say they are, based on the fact they're not showing up as stopping per se. So there they are. There they are, heading up the road. Right. That's put it's sleeves rolled up time, and hard work to do for them.
I mean, so I've read what the stewards have said and what the protest was. Yeah, sorry, Tim, playing some footsie under the table there.
Getting a bit excited.
Yeah, exactly. And so unfortunately, it was a collision with a GTD. We haven't seen it on camera. But yeah, they protest, unfortunately, caused some damage to that car. Yeah, so a bit unfortunate for the Fiercely Forward guys. I was just about to say they were 2.5 seconds and they'd got half of that time penalty eaten away, and yep.
A 5-second post-race penalty to serve as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough afternoon. It's such a shame.
They've had it all, haven't they? And they're still kind of
the ringer.
They're still kind of in there. So I tell you what it does do, though. If they can get out of this race with some reasonable points. Maybe they're top 5 right now. They can hold on to that. They got the 12 seconds buffer to try and catch up to effect simulations. That's going to be a tough ask. Maybe they get there, maybe they don't. But what they can do, I think, is build this 5 seconds up to Magic Arrow and hold on to a top 5. That would be a really good, solid start to the season, good points, something that they can work on. And they've shown they've got really good pace. Maybe enough pace that they actually could have been quite close to the race clutch guys had they not had everything, including the kitchen sink, thrown at them. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. But I am fascinated
4
to
minutes
see.
of damage we're reading in the chat. Look at that for that GTD. So yeah,
Wow.
a few people probably yeah.
When you put
Happy
that
with
into
that.
contrast, I think.
Like I said, we didn't see it. Maybe we will get a replay of that later. But yeah.
Now, fans of number patterns in GTD, we've currently got third. It was appearing on the screen just how it lined up nicely there. 3rd, 6th, and 7th, where say about esports 91, 92, and 93. Just the way the timing tower lined up nicely there, where we've been scrolling through. Fans of number patterns, which
I like that.
You know.
I mean, most of the Apex cars, we start at 99 and work our way down.
you do indeed.
We don't always get them, but you know,
If we don't ask, you don't get.
we try.
Get in there first and just sneak in and grab them.
I think we have a little feud with BS competition. They like to go for 99
Do.
as well. So yeah, it's a battle of the iRacing to see who can get it.
You get in there first.
So yeah, that's the only reason we really challenge and push the guys.
Well, and let's
Just to get
face
the
it,
number,
you
nothing
know,
else.
and you might argue that horses are better than zebras.
I would agree, but we're not got anything to do with the horse.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Should have just signed a deal with Porsche because they've got a prancing horse in the middle of their logo. That would have worked nicely, but no, it's just ruined. 3 point. I can't make one. I'm trying to make a connection to Mercedes and AMG and horses, and it's just not lots of horsepower. There we go, done. Right, on to the next part.
I mean,
There you go.
The only thing I can do, but they're good friends, is that Unicorns of Love are also a Mercedes.
There
team.
you go. So unicorns.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah, there we go.
So, but Unicorns and BS are very good friends. So they're like Hoove Army, if you've ever seen them. Anyway, I digress. Let's back to this.
Because that is our
endurance
leader
race.
into the pits. Also, Netrex GE Sports fiercely forward. Effect all in as well. Right. So
Let's see
sit
where
rep.
how far up Clash get here and how much of a gap they get. I still definitely think they're trying to completely cut out that last stop. So,
I think they are as well.
so. They're definitely going to be in the mix, but I don't.
So Alex, so for
I
them
don't
to
think the
make
podium
it just over the line in time, especially depending on the pace for aggro at race clutch. It's currently in the car, the Frenchman. So Clash Kit going round again. There we go. We expected that one. So they need to stop on lap. So the driver's currently on lap 63 at 2 hours and 10 minutes into this race. So they need to stop. Well, they've got a lap longer each time, so they need to stop on lap 66.
Yeah.
Now that,
I mean, they've physically come out in second now, but they're only like a second ahead of 3rd place. So
But-
definitely that gap's going to get eaten up a little bit in this stint, I think. So
it is, but mind you, in that last stint, if they can make it over with so there's less than 45 minutes remaining.
it's actually now 8 seconds. So I don't quite know what happened there.
So
I
now,
just think it was the interval time.
yeah,
just confusing me.
just takes a
pumpkin
little,
me.
it needs to go for a couple of seconds just to balance itself out. But with Clash, I'm just trying to do the mental maths here, Alex. So if they make it with less than 45 minutes remaining in this race, they can do it, and they could probably make it home without. I mean, they could fuel save again, like they've done with every other stint, to definitively make sure they're home. Or they could just go full pace, and then we could really see what pace is in that Clash Sim Racing LMDH. Just talking of pace, right now that is close between those two, and that is the Alpha Esports blue car. Speckens, Jordy Speckens, the Dutchman, has got into it, and Hydra Race Geodesic, they've had an absolutely entertaining race. Dan Neese is in the car for them now, the American. And wow, they've been fascinating to watch. They've had an absolute cracking result. They're up to 10 places, started 17th in class, currently running 7th. And still within shout of a really strong result. And well, this is a car that's been in the walls a little bit. Had damage early on, did the Alpha Esports orange car of Daniel Lamore himself, and he's got Archie Heron behind him. 2 drivers you saw driving both TNT in the Apex Racing Academy F4 Championship earlier in the year. We covered that one myself on a Saturday. I think it was myself and Aaron Smith who covered it all on Saturday night here on Apex Racing TV. And they both ran well. And well, a net afternoon for the 2 young charging Brits. Heron has made up 4 places though, so not the end of the world as a more, well, bouncing across the curves there, and that was, well, normally that ends in disaster, although not like it did back at when these cars visited IMSA the first season that Not Kill came out, and someone decided let's put Not Kill for IMSA on the schedule in iRacing.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It was one of the best IMSA races I've ever had.
Oh, really?
I tell you what, did a brilliant job on the set of makers with making the car ride the bumps, which sounds bizarre and crazy.
The key thing, isn't
in
it?
an LMP2. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. One of the best races and most cleanest races I've ever had, even with lapping traffic. Well worth a go. Valkyrie and Sabal. These 2 have been close for, I'd say, the last hour.
I'm trying to see what's happened. But both the Sabal cars, both on 2 stops.
But they've got 3 in that class, just to make things confusing for us. The 91, 92, 93 machine. That's the 93.
He's kind of there, but yeah.
And that's the 93 machine of Andrea De Basso, just losing a place there to Jonathan Poulet, the Belgian driver for Valkyrie competition.
Yeah, the Valkyrie sandwich. Oh, we did.
He blinks out there. So that is the second of the 2 effect cars in LMP2, but having of the flashing light treatment there from Orc Racing Yellow behind them, the Romanian outfit. Who are incredibly close, and they're going to dive down to the left-hand side there. Being defensive right now is Vesta. He's going to cover this one off, but tries to send it right around the outside and then gets the inside on the exit. What a move there from Walk Racing Yellow. And there's been heat in the car. You don't see it done that way very often, but here comes Vesta. He's straight back, he's nipping and trying to find a way past. There you go, you've got your picture there. 3 wide, all 3 classes, Alex.
I'll take it. Thank you very much.
All done. That's Newman. I think he's losing a place. This is your battle for 2nd place in class, which is really broken up,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, the fiercely forward guys are...
They're gone out of it. I mean, Effect, they have got Wilson. I thought he was coming late in the season, but he has got in the car now.
So got to 4th.
So Effect struggling, having run 2nd for so long, but it's GE Esports who've climbed through the rankings here. Now find themselves in 2nd, and well, Netrex, after getting themselves up into 2nd, now back down to 3rd.
There was a comment on the chat earlier on that saying that Esports Racing Team were the fastest on the track. That was probably about an hour ago, to be fair. And to be honest, I did look at the timing, and they were genuinely the fastest on the track at the time. Didn't think too much of it, because they were sort of back in sort of 6th and 7th. Thought, right, good. Hopefully they can progress some places, and here they are. I'm in P2.
Oh. Stunning result for them. Just goes to show we should never give up whatsoever. There's Networks to screen past our lonely Lamborghini there.
There's my unicorn.
There you go. How are they getting on right now? They've been a bit of a quiet race, to be fair to themselves, coming around 17th in class, up 2 places at Dalvey Racing.
Yeah,
in the lone Lamborghini. Pedro currently in the car for them right now. Still sticking with a through back for 2nd.
Lost my Mercedes 1-3.
You have. It's now Mercedes 2-4.
Yeah, Arnage obviously on that slightly alternate strategy. As talking about alternate strategies, here they come.
Into the pit, so this is them stopping to get them home right now.
Yeah, so 45-minute final stop, so it won't be quite full tank. So, yeah, like you say, can make it. I'm expecting the Arnage to be the one of the earliest to pit, and also the longest stint. So when they come out and everybody else pits, we should kind of see whether that kind of strategy worked out. So is that
They've had an Arnage of driver change as well.
Yeah,
Nico Lugar's got into the car.
Yeah. Nicholas, quick driver. So yeah, it should be good to hammer it home.
I mean, look at that. Potentially the fight for 1-2 in GTD. 9.2K and a 9.1K driver.
Not bad.
It's not bad, is it? Not bad for a Friday evening. What better place to spend it here than watching the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Championship on Apex Racing TV.
Certainly not many series that you're going to jump into up against 9K drivers. There's a 2 or 3K driver there are in here, so it's a good mixture. I think Stuart's done well in keeping on top of it. Mostly the racing's been pretty clean. Actually, I'm sure some drivers will say otherwise, but for the most part, there hasn't been this mass wreck, you know, every lap that we kind of expected. So I think they made it pretty clear quite earlier on that they were not afraid to hand out a penalty.
Just looking back right now from the Magic Arrow car.
Is that the leader? Is that the race clutch?
MA70 behind them.
Yeah. I just wondered if that was the leader coming through to lap them.
No, it's not.
It's not, no. It just looks... It's just me not knowing the race clutch paint very well.
No, it looks... That's the MA70 car. Very, very similar. I will give you that one. Definitely. And also, I mean, race clutch have been so far out in front that we've barely seen them all race.
Yeah. It's definitely why they should, you know... Remember back in the day when you used to like race the AI in some of the older games and things like that? You'd be like, well, I won't burn off, I'll make it interesting.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it on like the last lap or something like that.
Yeah, and I'll make it like, you know, past the whole field in the final lap.
Yeah, they're going to have to, if they can perform like this on the others, they might have to sandbag a little bit. I'll just give us something to think about, make us sweat.
Give them a bit of a, you know, a weight penalty or something like that. I'll definitely sort them out. These two still close. As mentioned earlier on, still battles up and down through the field in each class. Actually, Battlefield 13 between Delta Sport and Alpha Esport Orange. Jeff Lewis and Daniel Lamont have been scrapping away for a little while now. They've also got Heron in the No Limit Sim Racing Academy car right behind them. Three-way battle. It's set over 13th class. 20.
Sideways, but maybe I was wrong. Just maybe the camera angle deceiving me.
Clever strap there to pick a bit of slipstream off that GTD.
A bit more. Duck out of that and then try and tuck back in. Let's just see what... okay, no, we won't. I was going to say, let's see what the draft is like.
Well, that's because MA70 heading past Magic Arrow there. And who is that they've got tucked up right behind them? That's the Scuderia Volpe Verde car, I do believe. Oh, no, it's not. Apologies, I've missed out a whole line there, so it's not. It's not, because that's Clash. You've got Scuderia Volpe right behind them.
I feel like that's got to be a back marker or something like that.
Now, I missed it, Alex. When did Clash Sim Racing stop? Lap 65. Oh, I'm not sure.
So I saw the time. I saw the timing. It was 14 minutes and like 40 seconds when they pitted.
Oh, Alex.
But when they pitted out, it would have been after 15 minutes. So if they can make a 45 minute stint, but like you say, it's all going to be whether or not Race Clutch get another lap in or not. If they do that,
it's game over.
Yeah, they're not going to make it, I think.
Which is going because all that hard work.
I feel like they didn't save as much on this stint as they did the first two either.
When did they? No, they didn't.
They've only gone 2 extra laps, where they've been going 2 extra laps extra each time.
And there's been 1 extra. Oh, there's carbon off there. Malmedy. I saw a set of tyre tracks going through the gravel trap.
A bit of dust.
And there was, like you say, a bit of dust as well there. Not too sure who that was. It's one of the things. So many cars out on track. It's been. It's hard to tell exactly, who it was, and so many off tracks going on.
We were doing some praises of SDK with some of the information it kind of gives us about the off tracks and things like that with the GPS. But Spa being Spa, like literally, we obviously get just for anybody who's never used software, doesn't know about it. We have a little window that shows us all the incidents, so overtakes, off tracks, and things like that. And yeah, Spa being Spa, 60 cars. This thing is like chat gone berserk. It's like, and all it is off track, off track, off track. Now we've got no clue who's gone off or what's gone off, because
it's just relentless, isn't it? When you turn it off, it literally just has a complete and utter moment, and then like you say, it's just like it's like I'm trying, it's like watching someone like Jimmy Broadbent, his chat. Yeah, just constantly goes, churning through. There's one more squeeze through, and that sent the Mercedes around there. Who was that who had the spin?
I wonder if, just seeing obviously comment in the chat about whether or not we can get the intervals and things like that back up.
Let's sort that one out. There we go. All on screen for you right now. And with that in mind, Eric Vizzi has had an issue somewhere on track, although he could be coming into the pits. And that's why, because of course, some recent iRacing sides that you've crashed.
Just missed the leader for a split second while you're investigating the gaps. We had race clutch on scene. So sorry, guys, we really did. We've give you no love whatsoever.
This one, there they are on screen, and then all of a sudden, nope, they're gone again. And I completely and utterly missed them.
Back to MA70 again, just to nearly.
Yeah, they're incredibly close. Likewise, that battle for second place as well between GE Sports and Networks too. I'm a bit gutted for Clash. I mean, everyone else has got to stop again, but like you say, they didn't save it. Well, actually, they lost out on fuel, in fact, Alex, because they came going one lap extra than everyone else. They only went 2 laps extra, which meant they didn't save any fuel whatsoever on that last lap. If they'd saved another lap of fuel like they did previously, they would have done this. I think that's when it all of a sudden flips on its head and becomes incredibly interesting. So there it is, one of the Aerokinetics cars. And, well, they've got a real strong showing early in the year to the Apex Racing League GT Americas Championship. Alessandro Piccolo currently in the car for them. He's been in the car for a while, so has run the BMW, so many of our teams have here in this championship. Elected, largely because of the easy drivability that the BMW brings. That's a certain. Did you see one of the drivers there? That is. Moldovan.
We're just getting to the time of the races as well. I've seen a little comment in the chat. Just swung and asked the stewards just to remind the teams there is a 40 off-track limit or incident limit. You hit it, get a drive-through. So this is what we're seeing. I think Alpha Orange, they got their drive-through. I will assume that's what it is. They're not showing on the protest sheet. So I'm thinking they've hit 40.
So it's called Sim Racing heading out of the pits. That's for their final stop. It's a little bit flipped on its head here in LMP2 right now. Still not finally sorted itself out. That's a good point. We can see the incident point limits, can't we?
Yeah,
we can. We've got a sneaky little insight. So Delatraz, they're 60 input. Well, they're on 64, so they're well over.
Yeah, 44 for Alpha Orange. So that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Drive-through penalty for 40 int. So they've just gone over that. Next closest to Aerokinetics and Walk Racing Red, 36 and 35. So they're in the danger zone for sure with 45 minutes to go. And actually, No Limit Sim Racing Academy as well, 35. So those guys are going to have to be a little bit careful on the off tracks. Thank you for the stewards for giving us the info there.
Yeah,
it's always.
As you said, that they've been an invaluable asset to us sat right behind us. Ooh, that's a big cloud of smoke there. That's a bit cloud smoke down there at No Name. As we still watch this battle between Effect and Delatraz Automotive now. Delatraz haven't had the best of afternoons. They've dropped 4 places. They've been up, down, around a little bit as they've got Alexandra Delatraz back in the car. Obviously, much named after him. He had some good pace early on. They sort of stagnated a little bit in the midfield. And they had it was Jeremy Oliveri, wasn't it, in the car for them. So we're right on board with Delatraz incredibly close to the back of the effect car. It's going to send it up the inside here. However, you can defend right around the outside if you can keep your foot in, if you can remain alongside, but Delatraz squeezes them to the outside. And that is Michael Vester in the car, who darts out at the last second, has a little look, but Delatraz just shuts the door in his face. And at the moment, he's still clinging hold to that 11th place in class, 24th overall for them. The sister car for effect still leading the way, but then pit strategy still to affect that one.
Look really quick at the minute as well against all the other cars around them. Definitely fastest LMP2 that last time by. So if they can keep that pace up, then maybe they might be able to close in on the walk race in yellow. Maybe even the Brabham. Listen, Sid,
They're both quick quick drivers. There's no questions on that whatsoever, is there? So I'd say, you know, the route of position. It's just been incidents, bit of bad luck that's put them in their current positions right now. However, interesting to see how this one pans out for the rest of the season.
It's busy. Track is still really busy.
Well,
We're half an hour left of this race, and look at it.
It's no let-up, is there? It's no let-up whatsoever. And just looking at the amount of retirements that we've had, we lost the Delta V car from LMDH on lap 30. We're currently on lap 72 to give us some sort of perspective. 27 laps, we lost the Alcantara LMDH, we lost the twin-turn Ferrari from GTD, that was all the back on lap 11. Lap 8, we lost the Delta V, BMW, and then on lap 8 also the Effects Ferrari retired from GTD, and then of course not making the start with the ATRS Academy cars in LMP2 of James Bell and Sam Coleman, unfortunately. Meanwhile, we're right on board with the Sabre esports 92 car. There goes the Delatraz LMP2, I'm sure shortly to be followed by the Effect car. That's going to come across on driver's left.
Oh, that is not
no.
Little blink right through Blanchimon. No thanks.
Michael Vester, I'm sure new underwear required there, and at the moment a panic is, the Delatraz car goes into the garage, so into the pit road there, so that's their spot.
Why they were so quick, because they were light on fuel then.
So it's not going to be a change in drive. Right, we've got a lot of pit stops happening for you right now in LMP2. Hydrace Geodesic, they're in. Obviously, it's the Delatraz Automotive by Major Garage. So we said Arctic Racing, they've just come out of the pit lane. Aerokinetics and Impulse in, but it's a long start for Lars Mayer of Impulse Racing. They've been stationary for 3.5 minutes. We've got a bit of damage, and that's a bit of a shame for them so late on into the race here. Meanwhile, Clash, it doesn't look like after impeccable... Oh, well, no, definitely not. That's it. That's it. They're gone. All of that hard work, all of that fuel saving, it might have paid off.
Shame, I really wanted to know where they were going to end up, because...
Well, that's broken steer. Broken steer. Oh, no, and that's a poor rejoin at the back there, and GTD sent scattering. Oh, that could have been even more disastrous for them. Right, Effect. They've on the ASUS strategy in LMP2. They're in from the lead. Pure Sims have taken control of that one. Although they were well in front. What have Effect done? Is it going to be enough to get themselves onto the podium here? As they stop for the final time.
I mean, I still think all the others have got to stop as well. They're just
yeah, it's that alternate strat where they stopped, did that short stint in the middle that's put them slightly out of skew. But also, Alex, look at it, clock 2 hours 30 minutes. 45 minutes, roughly, 45 minutes for a stint in LMP2. They've gone well under yet again, so this could put them in an incredibly good place as they've come in for their forced stop. And where have they come out, Alex? They've come out third in class, so they're really strong as that Effect Simulations 908 car in LMP2. Walk Racing Red, they're on a bit of a flyer too, although they're on the alternate strat. They've got to be due to stop soon, in fact. Bogdan Moldovan, the Romanian's he's been scintillating this then.
They're 26 seconds ahead, so yeah, anything sort of under that and they will hold on to this P2 position. Yeah.
It's looking strong for a fuel adjust, but I mean...
The North Sim Racing is really confusing me on the time machine.
Yeah.
Getting in the middle of it, go, get out of there.
So overall, they are actually behind our leader in LMP2. That's due to additional stops, penalties. They had that, obviously, that minute-long pit stop. Was it a minute or was it 30 seconds? I'm trying to remember now. You're the man with the, with the spreadsheet.
Minute 27 there. Oh, sorry, yes.
I'm trying to have it. My eyesight isn't very good at this long range. There's a North Sim Racing one. How long was that for?
Stop and hold, 60.
Yeah, that's what really hurt them. Was that point of the race? Oh,
that was the second one as well. Yeah, look,
yeah, two of them. So they've lost 2 minutes there. So that's what's really, really hindered their progress today.
Here we go.
Here goes Eltraz. And wow, trying out, that's the Clash car. Now, the drivers, every team does have one fast repair, hence why Clash is like in a real state, back out on track and going for it here. Well, they've got nothing to lose now. This is pedal to the metal for Clash, and we're going to see what the true race pace of that car is. And just what they could have achieved without all of that fuel saving in terms of lap time. I mean, like you say, I'm absolutely gutted we didn't get to see exactly how it all panned out for them. Because I think they were really onto something. Although I do think maybe in that last stint, where they didn't save as much as the previous stints, I think maybe that might have just been the defining moment that stopped them from achieving a truly amazing result here today and cutting out that final stop.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's just been good to see if they made it.
Yeah,
you know?
if they made it without that extra stop.
I tell you what, it's going to give something for people to think about for the next one. Just
definitely.
Can you make it? I mean, I wouldn't have thought Spa would have been a particularly friendly circuit for fuel saving with all the high-speed sections and things like that.
But you've got a lot of big braking areas which you can lift and coast into, can't you? You know, you think about like Le Mans as well. It's another good circuit for it.
So yeah, we'll see how that plays out, I think.
It's definitely going to be fascinating to see how, like I say, it pans out throughout the rest of the season. And do drivers then look to make any difference? I mean, next up, in 2 weeks' time, we head across to America. We go to Watkins Glen. Then we've got
my side here.
And that is
getting ahead or staying ahead again.
Staying ahead for now, but you have to wonder how long as Vesta is all over the back of Stephen McDonald, who's got into the car. So that's been a driver change at that last stop. This is your leader in. Well, back into the lead. We got a bit worried early on that they might have lost it, but say about esports 91 do have to stop again.
Yeah, there's my shot again. Thank you very much.
That's what you like. On 3 cars.
But yeah, it's I'm really not sure how GTD is going to pan out. Like, I just have not worked out how the strategies, things like that, are going to do. I think it's all going to come together in the final like 10 minutes. We're still owed some pit stops. I feel like at this point. The short stints, Maniti with just a 23-second stop.
Well, they stopped on lap 65. They'll get themselves, and they're on lap 65 now, Alex. So yeah, they're going to get
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arnage as well.
Yeah, they should get themselves home, shouldn't they?
They're going to get there. They've got 4 seconds, so they've got some catching up to do. Fix Simulation, 109 with a drive-through. 109, which car's that?
That's the DPI.
Okay, yep.
There it is. Jack Wilson currently in the car for them for that one.
Yeah, I was like, please no, not the.
But that's really good because they were in second place for so long, and then just that sort of mid-race, second half of the race, it just fizzled out a bit. Nothing bad necessarily. Just didn't work out. They got caught up in a couple of incidents where they arrived at the scene of the crime for no fault of their own. And it's really good because they were fighting really, really hard at the hands of Vessa, who was in the car at the time.
Haven't spoken much about these guys. Pure Sim.
No, we haven't.
Sam picked him out as a.
He did.
As a good team. Has a good chance, and they're absolutely showing it. He's looking rather smug now. Just saying.
He is looking very smug.
So, yeah.
And he picked out Race Clutch as well.
No.
No. Did you pick out Say Battle by any chance? No, you didn't. You picked up Maniti. Well, at least that stops the clean sweep.
Yeah, it's not over yet. They've still got it. Still has a pit stop.
I've got to give him a lift home after this as well.
No. We're going to be in the end. We won't get in your car, mate.
No, he won't.
You're all right.
No, he'll have to try and hire a Luton van this time, like to try and squeeze that ego in if he'd managed to pick all 3 out. I mean, between the pair of us, that would be the first time anyone's ever achieved anywhere close to that. So I'll give it to him. Hats off to him. We're talking about a fuel saving we were talking about earlier on. It's just into the last 25 minutes. We've got Spa, obviously, at the moment. Watkins Glen's in 2 weeks' time. Then Monza, Le Mans, Road America, Road Atlanta. I mean, Road America, Le Mans, Monza, even Watkins, you can fuel save around that. It is doable, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like Monza's always been a fuel save race. You should also on the 1 hour mark, because I feel like it's a real guzzler. So maybe that might do it, but yeah.
Which sounds crazy because it is the cathedral speed that is Monza. It's all, you know, I was mentioning you could argue, you know, Road America being the same, there's a lot of straights on that, but at Le Mans, that's real high speed, 3 tracks in a row. Monza, Le Mans, Road America. A lot of straights with big braking.
High speed as well. That's the thing.
It's no slouch, but then when you put it into the comparisons to the 3 following it, well, certainly 2 following it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Road America. I mean, even Road Atlanta is...
Well, it's no slouch, really, is it?
That back straight is quite long. There's always moves going into that chicane. Yeah. I'll say I love the schedule. I think that is 6 great circuits to be driving it.
It is all work on multiple levels in multi-class racing. My favourite, Watkins Glen, that's up next.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what you think a better circuit would have been to go to. Just, you know, we're not changing it, but what track?
Tough luck, but, you know, but what would you like to see? But may I do Daytona? The quintessential, you know, kicks things off in the iRacing 24 hours.
Sounds right there, be careful.
I know he hates it. I don't hate it. He does.
Yeah.
So basically,
I stood up for you the other day during the Clio. I said, you know, it's an amazing circuit. Well, I'll protect you. Drive in between. There's a bit of action going on.
We have. This is Walk Racing Yellow, just on board with them, heading up the inside of No Limits. Wow, providing that there was a limit there. Well, they couldn't hold on to 12th in class and get demoted down to 13th. There's Archie Heron.
I mean, they'll still be happy. They're up 6 places from qualifying.
I mean, that's a solid result, isn't it?
Yeah. Walk Racing, it says on our timing screens that they've had 5 stops. So what's gone on with them? They've had a bit of everything, perhaps some penalties, as well as some of the
I think they got caught up in an incident, didn't they, earlier on? And that's what hurt them.
Is this core and core next to each other? Here's your photo moment, guys. Go on, flash, 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 flash.
Oh, hello. Is that a Seatbelt car into the wall? No, it's the Geodesic, isn't it? They were Alpine Star Geodesic, and that's what I still want to. I said it for so many times, but I covered them a few times in a couple of seasons of the championship. You know, when it's just ingrained into your mind, and it's like, you know, when they tried to rename like the bus stop chicane at Daytona to the Le Mans chicane. No, it's the bus stop. Don't do it. But names change, so I need to get used to that one for certain. So we look back from core right now.
Yeah.
Whoa, I tell you what, these two are going to push each other right to the end. 21 minutes, well, nearest down, 20 minutes left on the clock now. 20 minutes to get the move done. If you're Bogdan Moldovan for Walk Racing Red, how do you play this one out? What are you doing, Alex? Are you waiting?
Well, I haven't seen how quickly he's closed up, so I wouldn't know. Like, if you've caught up fairly quickly, you go for it straight away. But if you've been edging closer a 10th a lap or something like that, you know, maybe you're a bit patient. But thank you. Read my mind. There's a pit stop in there, which messes it up a bit. But yeah, it looks like there's a reasonable delta of those last 3 laps. I think you go for it straight away. There's a puff of smoke back there. I don't know who that was.
Now, we've had in the chat, talking of Bogdan there, we've had Andre Bogdan Karamadaru, apologies, who has the best rig in the world. Best. Cannot be argued. I know Apex Racing Simulations do brilliant rigs.
Yeah.
There's no question that. His is in the back of his lorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
in the actual cab, he's got a Volvo VNL. I had a bit of a chat to him. And literally, where, you know, normal truckers have their beds and that. No, he ripped all that out and put a sim rig in there. That's what we like.
Yeah, why not?
You know, Max Verstappen's got one in his plane. No.
Dedication.
Puts one into the back of a rig. Now lives out in Canada.
This
Trying to be
is-
friendly chap.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Seatbelt and Arnage.
It's all the levels.
Getting a bit tasty.
Gutting that Rublar of Arnage has not really been able to catch up to the back of Maniti. I mean, that gap's pretty much stagnated about 4.1 seconds, really.
Yeah, like literally within a hundredth of a second the last lap as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's best laps. My bad. Last laps, 0.3 of a second.
Playing it safe there. Into Silva. Just let the... That's a Delatraz by Major's Garage car. Oh, someone's into the pits.
So you heard that in your ear as well.
Yeah, Delta Sport.
Yeah.
That is Jeff Lewis heading in there for his splash and dash to get him home. Right, so that's them out of the equation. Right, Pure Sims are into the pits. Could this hand, has the vet done enough here? There they come. And what a turn-up for the Bucks this would be for Effect, because they dropped all the way back down to 7th. You know, Duke got caught up in incidents. Dawson played the alternative strategy. You know, they were yo-yoing first, 6th, first, 4th. Busby got in the car. They flipped back to the standard strategy, filled the car up. They, I believe, do not need to... No, they didn't.
Ready.
Yeah, don't need to stop. But, oh, this is going to be close. Hold on. This is going to be close.
It's not a million miles off, but
This is going to be close,
they're
yeah.
comfortable.
Because you can, you know yourself, when you can see something, you can almost reach out and touch it. You find that inner strength within you to try and grind this one out, and this could, although maybe the gap's going to be a bit too much, 8 seconds. Oh, it's closing. Hold on, because that car's going to get up to speed, so it's going to drop to around 7.5 seconds, I'd say, it probably might neutralise out at. I mean, even so, when zeroing in that Effect car was down in 7th, to get it back up to second in class is an amazing result.
It was definitely the right strategy to get themselves in.
Worked out a
Definitely
treat.
made big gains.
I mean, gutted for Clash still on their talking the strategy that theirs didn't work out. Netrex, they've had a cracker. They've up 5 places. They've got Newman currently in the car. And also, GE Sports did not expect to see them on the podium whatsoever.
So they've been flying.
They are.
They really have, yeah.
Simify, they've done well to recover as well, because they were running in that podium positions.
They've had the smashed up car, they've had penalties.
GE Sports into the pits, Alex. Hold on, this might shuffle things around a little bit.
I still feel like we're all...
They've got to stop again, haven't they?
It was just Clash that wasn't going to stop again.
It was. It's.
We're expecting these little splash and dash.
I forget this. I forget about this. You see, I'm just so used to the strategy and the fuel saving that Clash have been doing that this lot have all got to stop again. This makes me a bit sad, because we would have found out if it actually worked out for Clash now. Never mind. Let's take a look at some replays to cheer ourselves up with.
This is what, the MA70 guys having the good old battle?
Yeah.
With Magic Arrow. Like we could. Oh, sorry, we could have separated them. Pretty much all race long.
And they've had a brilliant battle. It's been fascinating to watch. Really, one of the moments I've really enjoyed is watching those guys battle it out. Oh, that's nasty netcode.
Yeah, was huge, unfortunately.
That looked like that's what it looked like from this angle.
Just the 54 guys battling.
Significate. Ooh, well, that's a bit of new.
Just a
Philly Rap Squad Corsa.
I feel like just a
just lock the rears.
snagging the rear on the grass there.
So that's core and walk. Look at that side by side, and they're still going side by side, and they've got a back marker. Oh, they squeeze one another and they bump. And there's the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Please look it out of the way. Please, we want to keep this battle going. And they still remain side by side. Sometimes when you have moments like that, when it's great racing, you don't mind coming off the slightly worse of the two. At least I don't, because it's just so enjoyable.
I have to say, like, when you have good racing, I mean, yeah, you're gutted when you do it, like when you have last lap battles and things like that and you just miss out. Obviously, you are gutted. But when you've had great racing, you know, it's just why we do the hobby, right? Because you come off it and you think, do you know what, that was a lot of fun. Gutted, I didn't do it. And then obviously you'll get the opposite side. Oh my God, they're literally pushing coming out of Pool 1.
Ooh, well, that's the Alpha Esports orange car. of Daniel Moore and Archie Heron. These two, of course, former teammates as well, so know each other incredibly well at TNT. And they're going to squeeze one another and push each other right to the very, very limit. It's an advantage towards Heron at the moment in the no limits LMP2. Here we go, closing, pulls to drivers, right, going to send it right around the outside, are you, Daniel Moore? You're going to give it a good go here, and you're going to pull it off as they're still side by side as we head down towards the bus stop, onto the brakes, and is he going to get the move done? Yes, he does. What a move that was, Alex. Oh, and into the pits, after all that, into the pits. That's how you get into the pits.
They both pitted though, so it's still valid move. We're not going to take it away. That is definitely going to be on your Storm Force.
Oh yeah, spotlight. That is definitely up there. Definitely.
So yeah, Patrick Silva then still, well, 0.8 of a second behind the Arnage car. So they are definitely losing ground to the Maniti Racing car at this point, who have pitted.
Garrett Spence agrees with us as well. Sick move to get into the pits first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
So no one commented about any extra tracks. We said
no.
Your other tracks. So
clearly, Sam Fitzpatrick has got it absolutely smack on. Oh dear.
They love each other, really.
We do.
Yeah.
I genuinely lost without him. Maniti, I was hoping Arnage might catch them in these closing stages.
They've had an uneventful race, and I think that's why they're there. They've just kind of done what they needed to do.
Same with Race Clutch. Pretty much the same with Pure Sims. You know, Pure Sims and Race Clutch just pulled out that about the second margin coming out of La Source on the opening lap, and that was it. They stayed there ever since. They've just grown the lead ever since.
It just sounds like a beast, though, doesn't it, that car?
It does, doesn't it?
It's just like a old World War II plane.
Yeah,
you know,
it's got that sort of Spitfire type vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rumbling.
You know, that's the
50 cal soundtrack.
I have missed the most when because we've not been to the Sim Racing Expo. Obviously, it's not at the Nürburgring anymore, but that was one of the best things about going to Sim Expo, was just listening to the GT3s just roar around there.
Oh, fascinating sound. Absolutely fascinating.
Right, Pascal sticks here. He's not quite as close as he was to the Walk Racing Red, but yeah, maybe get back there. I don't feel like this battle's over and done with. Last
10 minutes.
He was 2/10 quicker, so
he's a shot here. You know, 10 minutes plus change, because we will have obviously the, you know, as we run over clock, we'll have a, you know, obviously that next lap's complete pretty much. So, you know, he needs to make up a 10th every minute. So about 2/10 a lap. Well, if he continues the rate that we caught him on the previous lap, he's going to be there. But as the great late Murray Walker said, catching people is one thing, passing them is something different altogether. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. No, he can't. We are going to find out in 10 minutes' time.
I was intrigued by the speed difference there between the GT3 going through Eau Rouge. And I tell you, you can tell the GT3s have got an awful lot of downforce these days, you know, because they don't lift at all. It's just pedal to the metal as well. Don't really get held. I was expecting Pascal to get held up a little bit there, but nope.
Track well rubbered in by this stage of the race, you know, cars all fully settled in, you know, decent grip levels there all round, you know. Track temperatures are not horrific either. It's a great blend to go racing on, isn't it? When you've got everything all working in a nice little parameters, fiercely forward there into the pits. They're going to drop a couple of places. Now, no, Alex. So, Race Clutch still need to stop. So do Netrex, first and second even more.
Yeah,
see on screen right now.
Sorry, GE Sports Racing Team, they've pitted, so they look strong.
So you see on screen right now the amount of times everybody has stopped. So the Effect Simulation 909 car and Magic Arrow all need to stop again. Actually, is that going to bring Magic Arrow back closer to MA70? I would say it was, because they're going to need a real splash and dash to get themselves across the line with, what, 7.5 minutes left on the clock here. 8.5 minutes even. I don't know where these 3 hours have gone, nearly. Let's qualify.
Sabo Esports 93, tucked up behind Cole, Winkler in the core, Sim Racing GTD. We haven't seen too much from Carl and the GTD core car.
There's, between a lot of them, they've had a real up-down round type race, haven't they, the Sabo cars? I think maybe because there's so many of them, that's probably why they stick up in your mind a little bit more. But
I'm struggling, to be honest, to keep track of who's had what, who was up there, who was not, and who got penalties.
Especially when they've all got similar numbers as well.
Yeah. So,
guys, when you come up with your team names, just think of your commentators, please.
Feel the pain that I'm putting like our junior and people like that through when I, you know, stick 7 Apex Racing team cars.
All starting with 9s, yeah. Might be changing your strategy now, Alex, now you felt the pain.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes I don't even give them different liveries. They're just absolutely all identical. So, if you're watching our junior, I'm sorry. I will try harder. And by me, I mean I will get someone else to do the paint.
Why have a dog and bark yourself, Alex? Why have a dog and bark yourself? Oh, dearie me, dearie me. So, they've come in for their last stop. Likewise of Magic Arrow in LMDH. And that is, that's the Magic Arrow car. Should know, we've seen so much of that car. They've been in such an enthralling race. They look over the world all the time. They're at 5 places at the moment. Let's have a little look. I think they're going to drop to, down the MA70 guys. And that's going to be about it. Scuderia, Volpe, Viola, who they've had some epic battles with those guys as well as Magic Arrow, but are they going to come out well in front of them? No, maybe they're not. Maybe they are not. So there we see right now is, well, this is your battle for second overall between GE Esports and NetRex. So we're gonna, and also Simify right behind them.
Simify back in this.
Oh, they were dead. They were gone. They were out of this equation. Now they do have a 5-second post-race penalty.
Do they? That's the one of the post-race ones.
If memory serves me right, Alex. So,
gonna look.
Have a look at the spreadsheet. I think they have, which puts them out of this equation, which is gutting. Because if they didn't have that, they'd be right in this mix right now. We'd have a 3-way fight over 2 podium places overall in the first ever round of the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Championship. And well, onto the brakes. Damage and risk evasion there against the GTD BMW on the outside. Onto the brakes comes Lamella and almost into the back of the NetRex car. Scrolling, squirming, trying to find some grip there coming out of the chicane. There's moving across, and there's 2 different battles going on right now. The Delatraz car down low in LMP2 there, squeezing all the way right round the outside. That is the Walk Racing yellow car. It is battling, while G-Sports and Simify head their way through.
Have to lift here.
Well, they're so Simify ahead of NetRex, so they've got the move done there through the corner, and this is what NetRex really wouldn't want, because they have got the, I am right in saying there's still this 5-second penalty.
I can't see it on the sheet.
In that case, then, it's me losing my.
Yeah, I think it's battle on.
Well, and this game on. And this really plays in the hand of GE Sports, because 4.5 minutes left on the clock, Alex. So we've got about 2 more laps, roughly. Where are the leaders?
Halfway through the lap?
Yeah, about
6/10 of the way through.
So what are we looking like? 2 minutes a lap. I mean, wow, Race Clutch lost a lot of time. They're backing out of this one to make this go less laps. Look, last time around, 2.9. That's because they stopped, that's why. So I think that's why they were slow. But trying to maybe back out of it a little bit to make it go less of a race distance here. Which is not going to help us as neutrals, because we want to see this one come right down to the wire. Right now, it's advantage GE Esports for second place. Although they're caught in traffic. They are caught in traffic, I think, because they've just lost about a second to Simify. And
It looked like they were caught in traffic. Is that just
got loose, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, is everyone just worried about fuel or something here?
They can't be, because they stopped on lap 8.
Yeah.
More than enough to get themselves home here.
Yep.
That is past the effect. That's the LMP2.
Maybe
That's the one. That's
something
Vesta, who's down 10th in class. So they've actually climbed a place. They've been really, really in the wars, but now they're stuck right in the middle of this battle.
Maybe Ricardo's just doing like what we said back in the day with the AI games, yeah? It's like, let's make it interesting.
Yeah, let's back it up.
Yeah.
Oh, PJ Clayson's is in the wall somewhere. He's had a bit of an incident for Arctic Racing there, currently like 18th in LMP2 right now. It's all about, look at that, the sun's setting.
Glorious.
It's going to close the day, the close to this race. Up the hill we go.
Are we going to have any night racing? Are we going to hit any that are going to be into the night? I'm seeing shaking heads.
I was going to say...
Sorry, nodding heads even.
I thought you meant today. I was thinking,
no,
I know the sun sets quickly, but I mean, even so, that's going to be ambitious. Oh, something's happened to the P2 of Effect Simulation because Walk Race Red's come past them, and I think they've had an incident. Because look, they're going to lose another place, and that's put them off the podium.
What's happened to Paul?
Oh, is that damage to the front right I'm seeing?
Yeah, just like cars just sort of not braking properly or anything.
Oh, it's switching all over the place.
The cause car's through, so Pascal up to 3rd.
Oh,
Walk Racing Red up. Oh, hopefully we can find a...
Well, it's a good job they had a big advantage over everyone behind them, because otherwise...
I mean, still might be 2 laps to go here.
Yeah, it is. I think it is, isn't it? Where is our leader?
seconds, 13 seconds they lost on that lap.
No, we've got... So, next time the leader comes across the line, which is just coming down towards the final corner, that is going to be... There he is. Figueroa of Race Clutch. White flag is in the air. 1 lap left to go. There's Barney. You can see him on the right-hand side of the screen. He's got his flag out. And I see you're just trying to find out exactly what happened to Effect. Oh, no. Is it a collision with one of the GTDs? Yes, it is. What happened, Alex? Oh, it lost it.
We'll see. I'm sure we'll see this after the event, but yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, I can tell you it was not pretty and such bad luck as well. But, right, what battles have we got on? Right, this is Delatraz versus Walk Racing White. Advantage Delatraz, but Walk are going to have the slipstream all the way up the hill. And this is where you want it. And down the Camel Straight, are they going to make it too wide into Overregion Radio? No, Walk back out of it. But they're in a good position here. Delatraz need to defend. They're going to go to the right-hand side of the screen. Beautiful SDK Gaming livery there on the little sticker on the right-hand side of the arch.
Throw into the mix here.
Oh, across the front of him. Delatraz comes straight back out of him. Can't get it done. They get held up. This is what they need, just to box him in against that. Oh, and that's that game over. Oh, no. I thought that was going to come down to the wire. Right, we're still not done, though, in LMP2, because we've still got scraps aplenty. Likewise, we've got a scrap. It's still going on over 3rd place, as Netrex only 6/10 behind. Although they're running out of time fast as well, as there is your leader. He's heading around the back of the circuit. Only a couple of corners left to go for him, and, well, Benjamin Figueroa has...
didn't really make an extra lap. I'm gutted for Clash.
Oh, it's what it needed.
They could have.
I want one more lap out of this, because I'm not done with this race. There's still so much left to go, but with a squirrel in the acceleration, they are the first ever winners in the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Championship here from Spa-Francorchamps. Congratulations to them. And while in that battle for 4th, Zimmerfeet are going to pull it off. So the battle for 3rd even, and they're back onto the podium right where it counts. GE Sports come home 2nd. Pure Sims are going to win in LMP2. They have not crossed the line yet, but it's looking like that one's pretty much done and dusted for them. As we're just seeing some of the closer battles. Oh, it's in Magic Hour in the end lost out to Scuderia Volpe Viola.
Yeah, who have we still got to finish? Have we got Pure Sims still to finish?
Yeah, so nobody in LMP2 has actually finished that, although Pure Sims are looking really comfortable for it.
Yeah.
They're not across the
I
line,
do
so it's
feel
not
maybe
confirmed.
Manatee have crossed the line as well. I'm not sure if
They have. So
snuck
Maniti,
through.
Arnage, and say about esports 91 are your podium.
It's always the
It's a
annoying
win
thing,
for
isn't it,
Mercedes.
with- oh yeah, they did. There we go, all celebrating. But yeah, let's see Pure Sims cross the line. It's always the trouble, isn't it, the multi-class, when everyone finishes all in.
Oh yeah, different times, yeah.
But yeah, dominant from Pure Sims today. Like they got that 1 second lead at the start and just never looked back. Yeah, they had a little. I think they had a little bit of side by side, didn't they? But that was about it.
Just
Yeah,
dominant.
amazing job, amazing job. Walk Racing Red, good from them. Pascal Sticks can't get by, so third from them. Yeah, good job. But yeah, Maniti, AMG doing the thing, sticking it to all the BMWs. Not biased here at all.
No.
But no,
No bias whatsoever.
in all honesty, yeah, no, great job from Arnage. They threw a bit of a curveball with the strategy to try and get themselves out of it, and actually panned out nicely. Got themselves second.
That battle, I think, between Maniti and Arnage, and even Sabat, I think that's going to rage on.
It's going to be
all
close.
season long.
Yeah.
It's going to be nip and tuck and minor mistakes that's going to decide that one. Fascinating to see. Should we have a quick break?
I think we need it.
Let's have a quick break. We will see you on the other side. Don't go anywhere. We'll be chatting to some of our drivers. There's going to be some, well, very happy drivers. There's going to be, I'm sure, some that, well, need of a stiff drink after that one. But, well, don't go anywhere. We'll see you after these quick messages.
Good start. I thought that was pretty good opening there. Good battles, good racing, some drama. Yeah, I feel like there was some gutting things that happened there. So Clash and like, all those alternate strategy cars.
Oh, I mean, we said about it numerous times throughout the race, but that alternate strat from Clash, I feel completely and utterly denied.
Yeah.
But that we couldn't find out. It was like just got to the really the cliffhanger part of a book or a film, and someone just burnt the book.
But the
you never know what happened.
Yeah, the effect car as well. So yeah,
Oh,
maybe it might be on behind us. We'll have a look. But yeah, absolutely murdered by a GTD that just lost it in front of them. Unfortunately,
I had a quick word with the stewards. No further action because it was just one of those freak things.
It's just yeah.
I mean, you've got to feel for effect. They'd haul themselves all the way back up into second, comfortably into second, and then no fault of their own. GTD touches the grass on the outside. Grass decides to kill them and spear them off, and well, straight exit stage right, and well, the effect LMP2 in second place in class is there. Bang, gone. Then opens up a bit of a sprint finish. All of a sudden, oh look, we're going to be on the podium potentially. That's a bit of a scrap. That fizzled out. I mean, LMDH.
I mean,
LMDH,
I feel like
overall, that top part that we had some fascinating.
I was about to say, race clutch
turns.
looked very, very strong, I have to say. But the battle from second till seventh, I feel like any of those are going to be able to make the podium. People coming back through, people dropping back down. It's going to be all about, I mean, even if they don't make mistakes, I feel like it's still going to be extremely competitive.
Basically what you're saying, LMDH is like F1 at the moment. You've got Red Bull, light years away from everyone.
And then
everyone else is just passing.
I think that's going to be good. P2 looks interesting. Like I say, I definitely a bit more of a gap between those though.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then I think, as we said in the comms, I think the top 3 in GTD are going to be mixing it up all championship long.
I'm so looking forward to that one. I think GTD, that's going to be a bit of a sleeping giant, where it's not necessarily going to be great wheel-to-wheel racing, but it's all going to come down to finite moments.
It was strategy today. Like, they got broke up quite early, and I think that's why they perhaps didn't get as much love from us in the commentary booth as they might have wanted, and the sponsors might have wanted on those cars and things like that. But I feel like, yeah, we're going to have some where they're going to be nose to tail a little bit more, and we're going to be a bit more excited for that one. But still,
one of the final moments
good call,
coming out of today, every single class, for the class winners, they won it at turn 1. I know the perennial meme is you can't win the race at turn 1 on the opening lap, but all 3 of them essentially did. Yeah. They all got opened up a second gap pretty much, or thereabouts, and that was it. They never got touched ever again, and they all had very comfortable race. Pure Sims, Maniti, and of course our winners, who's completely and utterly escaped me.
Race Clutch.
Race Clutch. I wanted to call them Race Comp, Race Car. I couldn't even escape from me. Oh dear. Right. Should we have a little chat to some of our drivers? Oh. We've got talking of GTD, we've got Matsuki from Maniti on the line. Well, congratulations. We're talking about your race and saying how pretty much the winners in each class, nearest damn it, won it in turn 1. You got away there. I mean, were you expecting that? Just talk us through those opening stages of the race. I know you weren't in the car, Tim.
Hello, thank you. I had trouble understanding you a little bit. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, certainly. No, that's no problem. I was saying that you almost won the race at turn 1, where you were able to open up that gap over your competitors, and to just talk us through those sort of opening stages of the race.
All right, yeah. So we were P2 in the beginning, so just chilling and saving a little bit of fuel, getting into the race. We knew that strategy would be very important later on, so we were just like trying to not get any damage, managing the traffic and the tires, and Nico did super well with all of that. And the Sabelt car just ran away a little bit in stint 1, but we knew that maybe later in the race with a clever strategy we can come back, and that's what happened.
And, well, I mean, from that point onwards, you seem like you're in real control of the race. Did it feel like that the whole way, or, I mean, Arnage behind you? I mean, they're going to really push you hard, surely, for this season.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's some really good teams in here, but you never really know where you stand when there's 3 people or 3 teams on 3 different strategies, and that's what we had. So, while I think that I expected us to be out in front after the last pit stop, you're never quite sure until that point, and then Sabelt on a different strategy, Arnage on a different strategy, us. It was hard to guess. I was confident that we can win this, and we did. It was a bit of a stress in the last stint because I think we had the worst traffic ever. We certainly had the same pace as P2, but we just lost a lot of time from lapped cars and LMP2s and LMDH. But as you said, and if you're on the lead, you got to control it a bit and control the risk as well. So it's okay if you give up some pace and take it safe in the traffic, and that's what we did.
But in the end, it worked out to absolute perfection to you. 2 weeks' time, Watkins Glen. Are you looking forward to it, or you're going to think it's a bit more of a challenge? I tend to find it's one of those tracks. It's a bit easier to manage the traffic through that race. There's a lot of lines available around all the corners.
I'm not sure about the traffic. I think it's just as challenging, to be honest, with different lines possible there in some corners, tight entry, wide entry. It will be more variations to overtake maybe, but not easier. In terms of the track itself, it's nice. I like it, but there's a big patch coming before, so the real excitement or curiosity is to see how they change the cars, if the bob is going to change, if we need to do anything different on the setup. I think the patch is just a couple of days before the race, so the big challenge will be to understand the cars in the little time we have before the race.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see. Congratulations, that's Tim Matsky of Maniti Racing, and well, your winner in GTD. Next up, I believe we've got Bogdan Moldovan. Alex, would you like to have honours? It's P2 and LMP2. What a race they had.
Yeah, hi Bogdan, how you doing? Hope you can hear me okay?
Hello everybody. Yeah, we're doing really great. It was a really fun race, and we had a surprise at the end where we get P2. I think the effect team got into some troubles. I don't know, but I just saw they were slow on the Blanchemont, so we took that place. But it must have been very heartbreaking to have an incident in like the last 2 or 3 laps, but that's racing.
Yeah, me and Tim, we were talking earlier on about the P2 class, about saying that actually the gaps, I think, are a little bit further apart in the P2. I mean, who do you think, now this opening round has gone, who's going to be your main rivals throughout the season?
Well, I think it's gonna be, I don't know, it's like in the other tracks, we'll see how we'll perform. It's too soon to answer that, so we'll try our best to make it, to do our best and to do our homework.
Okay, yeah, what do you think you need to do to try and close the gap a little bit to the pure sim guys? Because, 20 seconds up the road, you'll definitely want to try and close that down for when we hit Watkins.
I think we need to work a bit better on traffic management and also to improve the race pace a little bit, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, how was the traffic today? Any scares that we perhaps didn't see off camera?
It was a bit. Sometimes it was very good, and sometimes was scary moments like free wide with an LMDH and GT3. So but in the end it all went very well.
Awesome job. Yeah, thanks very much for jumping in. Is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, team sponsors, anyone like that?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the team, which will work very hard to each and every one of them, to our sponsors, Simography and Sim Racing Design Argentina, and a special shout out to my friends, family, my cousin Dragos, and also special shout out to Mr. C, which has his kid in a heart operation, and now it's recovering from that, and I dedicate this podium to him.
Nice, yeah, great job. And thanks very much for joining us, and we wish you all the best of luck for the next round.
Thank you.
Well, they had a cracking race, didn't they? I mean, talk about through the mill and unexpected P2 in the end.
I was about to say, just stuck with it all race long, and like you say, got themselves up there and nice strong P2.
Well, talking of P2s, we've got. I missed out who've got Ricardo Shaman from Geodesic on the line. Sorry, GE Esports. Sorry, so many G's. And esports. It's been a long 3 hours with a lot going on. Wow, for the GE Esports team, you have had an absolutely fascinating race. You kept me in fraud certainly, where I thought you were going to finish in anyway in the podium positions, and then all of a sudden back in there, and then a great race to the finish as well.
Hi everyone. Yeah, thank you. Yes, to be honest, we prepared this strategy from the beginning, and we are able to put in the race. So it's the first part with Antonino that is more quiet to keep the main field and don't lose much time through the traffic or in a battle. And the second part of the race to push and try to have a different strategy to try to change the I don't know, to keep to improve the position, and it works fine.
You say about those two different strategies there, and how you had a different strategy for the first half of the race. In that first half of the race, especially when you came through the GTDs for the first time. Just talk us through what it was like, because it looked incredibly dramatic at times. There was a lot of cars, you know, sharing the same piece of track.
Yeah, it isn't easy because the difference of speed in some corners is really huge, like the Eau Rouge, for example. And the GT3 have a single line, so we have to go around the GT, but isn't so easy because in the meantime we are fighting with 3-4 another BMW, so it's quite a challenge to stay on track and don't have any contact and get penalties for that.
Oh wow, it was absolutely fascinating to see all of you just make it through the GTDs for the first time. Ricardo, before I let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Sorry?
Anyone you want to give thanks to, or any sponsors you want to mention, or anything like that?
For the team, for sure, because this is my first race with the G Sport Racing team. Basically, I'm joined from about 2 months and officially last week, so it's a new challenge and start really well.
Wow!
So thanks to the team.
What a debut! Second place in the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Series. That's Ricardo Chevron there of GE Sports. Well, I mean, they had an eventful one, as so many of our drivers did. It was, I mean, those opening laps. How dramatic was that?
I mean, I think we were a bit shocked to see how quickly the MDHs were coming back through the GTD field.
So they were leaving about a 10 to 15 second gap between each of the classes. But even so, like you said, the way they caught them.
So fast, yeah. I'd say I think it worked okay because the second time round wasn't with the P2s, which normally happens. That gap kind of just meant that they kind of went through afterwards as well. So yeah, I think it seemed to work quite well, but yeah, just a bit manic. And I think that's what we're going to see at Watkins. That first half an hour, we're going to be trying to catch our breath. And then after that, I think, you know, it's going to calm a little bit down. Should be good.
Calm it down. It didn't calm down for, like, I think it took an hour and a half. Even then, it wasn't. I'm not even fully sure. But wow, that's all we've got time for this week. We'll be back in. Well, yeah, good point to mention. Keep an eye out for our socials for the Storm4 Spotlight, where you can vote for what going to be picked out as the 3 best moments from the race here today at Spa, round 1 of the ASUS Apex Racing League Endurance Championship.
Round the outside of Blanchimont, that has got to be a contender.
And then into the pits.
Yeah, that has got to be a contender.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's right up there for me. And, well, there's quite a few as well, to be fair. We saw some spectacular overtakes, to say the least. That's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've been here since the start, thank you so much. If you just joined us, well, where were you? It's been a pleasure. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time here from the studios, where myself and Alex will be live from Watkins Glen. Make sure you tune in then. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out our socials. And then we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time from Watkins. Goodbye.